Welcome, everyone, to Rogue Nation. This is episode 20. We're talking geeky shit tonight. So, tonight, I'm your host, Big Man Justin. Got Kevin to the core.
Finally, no more Comic-Con stuff.
We're still talking Comic-Con stuff. Yeah.
The Fallout.
Got Heel Hunter Joe.
What's up, Kevin? You lied to me. My baby listened to Korn and he did not share.
Hey!
So I blasted him in his room.
It's a hot take.
And Just George.
I don't even know what to say after that. There's really nothing to say after that.
That's the crossover material that we don't deserve.
Yeah, no.
Tonight, we're going to continue on with what we tried to start last week. We're just going to skip over toys because we did it last week.
Yeah.
We're going to go right into comics. Before we go through our listing of comics, I did want to bring up one thing. Did anybody read War of the Realms Omega?
No.
Number one?
I did see that.
No, the Omega, the last thing that kind of pushed everybody on their path. So, where you found Jane Foster became Valkyrie, what everybody was doing.
Right.
Yes, the 4 vignettes.
I read it where Daredevil and Heimdall were running around together. Yeah, I read that one.
So one of the things I wanted to bring up was when I read it, they basically gave away the next couple of arcs for Avengers in this book.
Because they were looking.
Because he was looking into the future.
Right.
At one point, Daredevil says, through the Hell Race, the drawing of the Heralds, the sea trials, and the fury of Khonshu. And the red rise of America's mightiest heroes. Through it all, because she's talking to She-Hulk at the time, your gamma rage will burn brightest. So you got the Hell Race, which we know is the next storyline in Avengers.
That's not in Omega. That's in Avengers.
Is that in Avengers?
That's in Avengers.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm like, why does that sound familiar for me? Yeah, that's the penultimate book of War of Realms because it ends on War of Realms 6 or whatever. Yeah, so that's the last of the War of Realms tying in Avengers.
Right. So, but you got the Hell Race, which we know is the next story arc for Avengers. And then you got the drawing of the Heralds. We don't know what that is. Got the Sea Trials, which I assume has to do with Namor. And then the Fury of Khonshu, so that means Moon Knight's coming.
Nice.
And then the Red Rise of America's Mightiest Heroes, which I think is the final showdown between them and Squadron Supreme.
Or Winter Guard.
Or that too.
Red Rise, Russian?
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
But it says of America's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah. Well, the Russian counterpart to America's.
But here's the thing: the Red Rise could also have something to do. Because remember, Mephisto is controlling Coulson, which he ordered him to put the team together.
Right, who's in charge of? And what I think I can't remember what Avengers issue is it, but it's like alluded to that Coulson is somehow brainwashing them.
Mm-hmm.
To control them and stuff. The Squadron Supreme.
I want a series with Daredevil and Heimdall.
It's just something a good series.
Jesus Christ. It was so good.
I feel like it would just be a bunch of quotes.
Yeah.
Just like notable quotes.
And blind jokes.
And then just looking at...
Well, you would need a third person to play off the jokes. Cosmic Ghost Rider?
That would be cool. I was going to say Deadpool, but...
It is Omega no more, Justin, you're right.
No, it's in the Avengers. Because it's
Omega no more in War of Realms.
Yeah.
But it's not the Avengers book.
The panel he was talking about, of that listing of events that's upcoming, that's in Avengers. Yeah, because I remember it. I haven't read Omega. Omega is the 4 vignettes. That's just Thor, Jane Foster becoming Valkyrie, Loki, and the Punisher one doing the whole Kill Crew thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's them going off their side stories.
It was a while back.
It was good.
It was a while back. I forgot which issue it was in. So, but I meant to bring it up a couple of weeks when we were talking about it. I completely forgot about it. I found it in my pictures, so I figured I'd bring it up now. But I thought it was neat because it's kind of telling you what the next couple of story arcs are going to be. If Moon Knight's coming and the fucking Hell Race.
And bringing back Namor.
Yeah. Which we were hoping was going to happen because you have his challengers in the deep or whatever. So, just a little sidetrack. Moving on. First thing up we got is they're going to do the Rise of Kylo Ren comics, and Charles Soule's going to write this.
Yes.
Super cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it.
I read somewhere that they revealed who the Knights of Ren were. but I didn't read what it was.
Ooh, hopefully this comic does that. Well, but okay, to this point of the news of Charles Soule writing Rise of Kylo Ren, it's supposed to be a miniseries and like short too, like not like a 12, maxi series.
Like
it's gonna be six, 5 or 6 miniseries. And it's like, really, his rise is only gonna take us that short amount of time?
Yeah, but you gotta remember,
Well, when does this take place? This takes place before.
Well, it's his rise, so it would be how he went from the guy that Luke supposedly attacked, and then became.
Yeah, so from that night at the temple, moving forward until he's
part of the
Knight
First
of Ren.
Order.
Yeah. I think I can't remember who confirmed it. I think it was Pablo Hidalgo, a part of the story group of Star Wars for Lucasfilm. I think he confirmed that we're not going to get any stories in any form of media taking place in between the new saga until after the saga is complete.
It's an interesting way to do it, but I guess.
So anything coming out now would be still technically between 6 and 7. So Rise of Kylo Ren has to be exactly what Justin said.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm just contesting why is it so short? Why only 5 or 6?
Do you really want that? Do you really want more?
You really want what?
Do you really want more than that?
I mean, if let's say, I think we all in agreement as a podcast as a whole that we all kind of want to see the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
And then you explore them a bit.
Do you want to see it in comics or do you want to see it on the...
Oh, I agree, but I think once the saga's done, I don't think we're going to go back ever.
I wouldn't say that, but if it's something that they're going to touch on, like it could have been, because Disney's pretty structured, so they could have just given him like an outline and said, "Here's the things you can touch, here's the things you can't touch." Yeah. So what he could touch could only fill up 6 issues.
Okay.
I mean, because remember, there's a lot of things that they sit there and go, "No, we're going to deal with that in a movie, or we're going to deal with that here," or
like the story,
or it could even be something like Timothy Zahn's got that, he's dealing with it in this book, or this person's dealing with it in this book. Because remember, it's all spread out. It's not just
books, comics, TV, movies.
So it just depends on who got to it first. I think somebody might have come in and said, "Well, I want to do Kylo Ren's story," and then Charles Soule said, "Well, I got to take on that too." And they said, "Well, you guys have got to coordinate, and figure out what you want to touch on and what you don't want to touch on." Because I actually think it'd be interesting to see Kylo Ren start as Ben Solo. So see him and lead into being taught, but just to see that world, like, because through Ben Solo's eyes, you can tell the story of how Luke started to rebuild the Jedi, and then you could also see his breakdown of it not working and stuff like that, and you could really touch on Ben's influence from Snoke. Thank you for his name.
Supreme Leader.
Yeah, so you could start dealing with that and touching on that. I think would be that, but that I think is a book. That I think you could do.
That's a deep book.
Yeah.
Right. So then this miniseries could possibly end on him meeting Snoke.
It could,
and then that leads into
someone else.
Yeah.
Someone else picks up at that, and I mean, it does remind me of the way the Halo books were done, where a lot of different authors participated in it, but they each got different points of the story to tell.
Right, because that was a whole world, a whole galaxy.
Exactly. Bungie developed a whole huge story behind it, and they released it like that. So I feel like Disney, being the huge company that they are, they have their huge story they want to tell, and they're rationing it out in pieces.
That's been Kylo Ren talk.
The Kylo Ren hour.
The Kylo Ren corner. All right, so
still loving the miniseries.
So
that's the title right there.
Do we want to talk about the Xbox, or do we want to talk about House of X before we talk about the Xbox?
I say we touch on the Xbox.
All right.
Then go into House of X.
All right. So your reviews will be first because you have it under.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got new Xbox coming from Hickman and a couple other writers.
Yeah, next week is Power.
Yes.
Thank God.
And they've actually, did you see?
Next week is
sidetrack. Did we all read it?
Sorry, tomorrow.
Yeah, House of X, of course.
House of X?
I read it today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw him this morning. I'm like, you need to fucking read this book before we record.
Did you see the reading order?
Yes, I did. I took a picture of it.
Okay. There's a reading order. You read one and then the other, and then but then there's a
Right.
couple of weeks where it doubles up, where you read Powers of X like 2, and then you have to read Powers of X 3 before House of X 2.
Well, it looks like the release order is going to keep pace with it.
Okay.
So it looked like
always.
I know. You're right.
It looked like it. I looked at the dates for the reading order, and it looked like
But all it takes,
consecutive.
but all it takes is for one delay, and it screws up the whole thing.
True.
Yeah, so.
But it seemed like, I think in between books, it looked like 2 weeks after these two number ones of Powers of X.
Well, I'm sure the first couple issues are.
And Powers of 10.
I'm sure these first couple issues are on track. It's just the later ones, because that always happens. You know, because even with Hickman, because I think his later issues of Secret War got pushed
into the beginning of the new universe.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
really?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's messed up.
So we were reading Secret Wars, and then everything got a refresh, starting with I think it was like the first Invincible Iron Man. I think Dan Slott got on, and people were like, "Okay, how the fuck is this happening? We still haven't read the ending of the universe in Secret Wars." And it was like a month, dude. It was like a month. It was a really long time.
That's messed up.
Yeah, but that's how Hickman is.
Yeah.
That dude, but clearly because look at fucking House of X. That dude is a brain and needs time to flesh out those ideas.
I have something to mention on that when we get to it, but let's go ahead and talk about the X book.
Okay, so first book we got X-Men by Hickman and Leinil Francis Yu.
But we do have to say that this will spin out of House of X and Powers of 10 next year. So starting January?
Yeah, we have quite a few issues of House of X and Powers of 10.
Before these even get started.
Yeah.
So the characters in this book will be Cyclops, Wolverine, Rachel Grey, Corsair, Marvel Girl, and Havoc. So it's basically the entire Summers family plus Wolverine.
Exactly. It's true.
So all the Summers, and then the one person on the planet who hates Summers.
Supposedly Vulcan will be in it.
I heard that too.
Well, yeah.
Then we have New Mutants by Hickman and Ed Brisson, which I'm very excited for. Because Ed Brisson wrote that Decimation story.
Right.
And that was really good. And Rob Rice, featuring characters Sunspot, Wolfsbane, Magic, Cypher, Chamber, and Mondo. Mondo's still alive, huh?
Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane died years ago for me when I was reading X-Men consecutively.
Well, I'm sure we'll get into that when we get into House of X and what's going on in that book.
Mm-hmm. Then you got Marauders by Jerry Duggan.
Super weird. What, Justin, you would know better than any of us here on the podcast. When the fuck have the Marauders ever had a book?
No.
It's so strange.
But looking at that lineup, I'm kind of okay with this.
It's Kitty Pryde, Emma Frost, Bishop, Iceman, and Storm.
It's cool. It's weird. I kind of want to read that, mostly because of Jerry Duggan, who did
Conan, and he's doing.
He's on Conan, which is great. He's on Savage Sword of Conan, which I'm really liking.
That's your preferred Conan.
Yeah, and what was the other thing?
He's on Savage Avengers.
He is on Savage Avengers, but there was something else that we got him on. Oh, that event of Warps.
Warps, where it's mixing everyone together, holding the universe.
Fuck, what was that called? Infinity Wars.
Infinity Warps?
Wars.
Oh, Wars?
And then the Warps was the semi-conclusion of the Infinity Wars.
Yeah. Let's remove half the population by folding it in half.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. Comics.
Then we got Fallen Angels by Brian Edward Hill. Then I'm not even going to pronounce the artist name. Can't do it. And this is Psylocke, X-23, and Cable. Here's an interesting lineup.
And supposedly others, because I can't remember who it was that was talking about that. Right, that's going to be a rotating cast of mutants that are all on redemptive arcs.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, I don't understand. Is that going to be the team name? That's just silly at that point.
Then we have Excalibur
coming back,
which is interesting, with Tina Howard and Marcus Toe, featuring characters as the new Captain Britain. Does anybody know who the new Captain Britain is?
No.
You guys don't know?
No.
Psylocke.
Oh, so she took her brother's place.
Yep.
Nice.
But wait, then how we have Fallen Angels?
Don't know.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Clue.
You're right.
But they announced that she was going to be the Captain Britain at Excalibur. Okay. And then you got Gambit, Jubilee, Rogue, and Apocalypse.
That's the weirder one.
That's a no team, though. No Nightcrawler?
No.
Well, he was in the old. That's
in fact, Nightcrawler isn't even mentioned.
That's a good fucking team.
Unless he's on X-Force. We don't have a listing for X-Force.
No, I know there is. I didn't even write it down.
And then we do have that last book, X-Force.
Yeah, like I said, we don't have I'm trying to find listing for it.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean, Nightcrawler would fit X-Force very well.
He might be on that book.
Yeah. I'm just glad that we got, Gambit back in the game in Excalibur.
I don't know why I can't find info on X-Force book in 2020.
Because it's X-Force. It's all Black Ops, bro. It's all quiet.
It didn't start that way. Okay,
that's not how you start, it's how you finish the game.
There you go. Yeah, see, here's a picture of Excalibur. It's kept written.
Yeah, nice. So it looks dope.
Yeah.
We need to post.
And it's crazy because Apocalypse doesn't look as big.
See, that's one of the things I can't wait to read Powers of X for.
Yeah.
To find out where the delineation for Apocalypse happens, where he ties in.
Right, me too.
We have a lot of questions looking at these books.
Okay, here we go. I got an X-Force cover here. We got Beast, Jean Grey, Sage. Okay, hang on. We got it's going to be a 1/2 intelligence branch, 1/2 special ops branch. We got Beast, Jean Grey, and Sage on one side. Wolverine, Kid Omega, and Domino on the other.
Ooh,
Kid Omega, that's funny.
I like that. So, you have a couple
of here on this cover though. You also got Black Tom Cassidy, and you also got the Colossus.
So there's a few mutants who are doing crossover appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like Jean Grey is on a lot of them.
She was on the X-Force before the reboot.
But it's funny because, we have Jean Grey there, but then we have Marvel Girl on X-Men. I wonder if something's going on here.
I have a take on this, too. I'm sure you do.
Yeah. We're probably thinking the same thing.
Probably. So, those are the books that are coming. They all sound good. I don't know. For my money, I'm definitely going to be on X-Men.
Of course.
I'm definitely going to be on Excalibur because I want to know, because Gambit's on the book. Yeah, that's my favorite. I don't know. I might leave the rest. Maybe New Mutants. I don't know that this is just me personally. Because I don't know that I need this many more books.
Right.
It's a lot of books.
But we'll have to see. Because I'm sure they're going to fuck me and go like, well, you need to read this book to read this book. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can take those on digitally.
Maybe. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
If it's something you're really looking forward to.
I might be leaning more towards besides X-Men as a secondary one, Marauders, just because that cast of Kitty, Emma, Bishop, Iceman, and Storm, that cast is interesting. On top of again the writer Jerry Duncan, that already caught my attention as it is.
I have to agree with you, Kevin. Marauders is looking like a good second book to have, and Excalibur because just like Justin, Gambit is one of my favorites. Yeah.
I'm reading them all except for New Mutants.
Yeah, what sucks is in New Mutants, I kind of like Sunspot and I really like Wolfsbane, and I'm okay with Magic. The rest, I'm not even. I know Scyther. I'm not familiar with Chamber and Mondo.
Yeah, Chamber was Gen X. He has his whole chest and bottom jaw are missing, and it's just the power. It's his mutant ability manifested in it. It's a plasma blast. It blew out his chest and his bottom jaw, so it has to constantly be using so he can stay alive.
Holy shit.
That's very complex.
He's been around for years. Mondo is also a Gen X character, but I'm trying to think of, is Mondo the one that got killed because he was a traitor? I think he was. They did Gen X lasted for almost 100 issues or something.
Wow. And
then they ended up finding out somewhere in there that Mondo was a traitor. He ended up being He actually turned on everybody.
I don't get what he is.
It looks like he's made of stone, or he gets bigger.
Yeah, it's something to do with
rocks.
Yeah. Look up Chamber though. You gotta look up Chamber.
If we're completely wrong, feel free to correct us in the comments. To the side, bottom, left, or right. Where will the comments go on wherever you're listening?
One of my favorite characters for a long time, Chamber.
Well, it's such an interesting concept.
When his mutant power first manifested, like I said, it blew apart his chest and his face. But to survive, he has to have it constantly on.
That's crazy. Yeah. That alone gets me interested. I'm like, I'll check out the number ones for, some, if not all of these.
So Chamber has kind of like an energy entity living, an energy thing inside of him?
No, it's his mutant power.
It's just a power?
Mm-hmm.
He looks really weird.
It takes some getting used to it.
Yeah. It's like reverse Ghost Rider. It was fire, it's his lower half.
Yeah, I guess we're excited for, some of these books starting next year, spinning out of House of X and Powers of 10.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of those.
So let's go right into House of X then. We
Please.
all read it.
Issue 1
I'm sure we're all dying to talk about it.
Please. It's just so fresh.
I love how it began with the flowers and all the new
Krakoa.
Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot his name. I forgot the name.
The Living Island Krakoa.
So badass.
Really cool.
Is it a he? Because I just thought it was just an island with a plant.
He looks like a big turtle, really. With an island on his back.
Is that what it is? Yeah, like, it's a thing?
He's a mutant, yeah. He's a humongous... The island's a mutant.
The island itself is a living mutant.
A living mutant.
Yeah.
Wow.
A living mutant.
Bro,
island mutant.
I took my time reading this and reading all the infographics. I did not get that.
Yeah. Because he's an old villain. They're building off of something that you're supposed to have already known.
Jesus Christ. So much for a refresh.
So the X-Men are trying to make him a Soviet nation.
Right.
So they're, hey, guys.
So the book basically breaks down, they've planted these plants all over the world. They work as gateways to Krakoa, which is their sovereign nation, which if you look at the map, it's like off the coast of Australia and New Zealand or something.
Yeah.
And it takes up a lot of
it's large.
Yeah.
Yes, very large.
And they're calling all the mutants to Krakoa, and they're trying to establish
a population, like a sovereign nation.
And then,
but what was cool is like that not all plants that create these gateways, not all the gateways go to Krakoa. Some of them are just like habitats themselves. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, cool, what the fuck?
The plant itself has multiple uses, and in the infographics they give us each one of those.
Yeah, and then I love how those even speaking of infographics, how like there's even one that's considered like a tumor. That's like it's unknown what it does or the space that it takes up.
It's even unknown to Krakoa.
Yeah.
So it has it has Magneto speaking for Charles Xavier, speaking to ambassadors of the world to get them to basically recognize them as a nation. In return, they're going to give them 3 drugs. Right. One that extends life for 5 years.
Right. Human life for 5 years. It's 3 pills that are all only for humans.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All made from the Krakoa flowers, too. Extends human life for 5 years. Another one that cures all
mind diseases.
Yeah.
Like mental diseases.
Dementia, Alzheimer's, all that stuff.
And what was the third one?
A super antibiotic.
Yes, that was the one I was thinking.
Yeah, it's adaptive.
And in response to the mutants giving the world this, they have to be recognized as a nation.
Right.
Sovereign.
Now we don't get why these 3 new medicines are important. Besides of obviously who wouldn't want that. It's essentially even more important in this book of House of X in the world that Jonathan Hickman has given us, because then we later on get the Orkey's that's how I read it. Orkey's organization. How that's like percentages of like strike, sword, shield, aim. It's mostly aim.
They were established. It's like the Orkey's. It's like the Orkey's protocol.
Yeah.
It was established to
reestablish human population.
No, but it was also a response to if the mutants ever got organized enough to be a threat.
It was 3 specific things that had to happen. It was the financial aspect of it.
It was surveillance and oversight.
Right. Well, that's what they do, but there were 3 specific things that had to happen for it to activate. Right. Which is the protocol itself.
Right. Financial, territorial.
And the third one, I forget what it is.
No, there was a first one.
Oh, the first one.
The last 2.
Yeah, the first one I don't recall what it was, but I know that it had to be financial, which with Xavier making the drug and getting money ready for rest.
Territorial. But for what's essentially explained of like what makes this even more important, these drugs more important, is that the mutants have grown exponentially. Mutant powers have manifested exponentially, and I love
new children.
New children, even from non-mutant histories, are being born mutant, and I love how it goes into the Genosha genocide, which that's even something I remember. Yeah. And from back when I was reading, and they said that like that, if anything, it only bought humanity time that it didn't even know it had. And without it, humanity would have already been wiped out in 10 years.
Yeah.
And since it happened, and I think the number is that it wiped out like 16 million mutants, that essentially it's still going to happen in 20 years.
It's
from 20. It's a 20 from the point of the comic.
And I did find the first primary thing. It's population alert. The exponential growth of the mutants and the population.
They are growing.
Right. Then the financial thing was Xavier buying this pharmaceutical company to, what's that word?
It destabilizes the industry and spreads global financial sectors and all that stuff. Yeah. It just, it moves money around because with these type of drugs, the medical industry
I love how like Hickman's idea was like, okay, mutants, put them on an island and give them an infrastructure and give them, on a global scale to have a stage in the world. And he literally thought of it all, and it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So, we have Magneto talking to the ambassadors of the world. Yeah. Some of them are siding with him, saying that they'll take the deal. Some of them are not. Right. What ultimately you end up finding out is that Magneto was actually testing them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he had the cuckoos with him, and they were pulling thoughts from the head of the ambassadors.
Right.
But it ended with a really, really cool shot of Magneto basically saying, "We're your gods now."
Right, because of where they were.
They were in Jerusalem.
It was symbolism.
It was the Jerusalem habitat. So again, like back to the plants of like how some inhabit like space within space, where you walk into it, it's like, oh, it's a building, but it's an entirely other habitat. And you could cross gateways to other habitats.
But only mutants can go through these gateways, and they have to ask. They can't just go through. Because then you had that one scene with where the Toad, Sabretooth, and Mystique were trying to rob a bank, and then they tried to go through the habitat, and then Sabretooth got blocked out. Right. But then Cyclops showed up. Well, the Fantastic Four showed up first to capture Sabretooth, and then Cyclops showed up basically saying, "Look, he's giving us.
Yeah, he's a mutant. He should listen.
Yeah. Right. It's like, we've got permission from the world that any mutant problem is a mutant problem. And they didn't want to buy it.
Yeah, no, we caught him.
We got it.
Right.
But it was actually, to me, that scene was more used to basically remind everybody that Fantastic Four's kid is a mutant.
Yeah. Right.
And an Omega level mutant, too.
Yeah, look, that's another infographic that they show each Omega level mutant and their allegiance. And you see Franklin's
human.
Richards is allegiance to human. But some are unknown. A lot are unknown, actually.
But I love what Scott says to Reed and Sue. He's like, tell your son he has family here.
Yep.
And it's like, whoa, are you trying to like, what are you trying to say?
To me, that was nuts. But my favorite quote was still Magneto.
Oh, yeah.
When he says, like, I know how you're kind. You humans love your symbolism. Mm-hmm. That's why we chose to come here to this habitat, of course, in Jerusalem. And it's like, for you to know, we are your new gods. And it's like, oh, dude, that shit was spine-chilling to read.
It's finally, like, it's the words Magneto has been almost preaching for a long time, but now he's saying it with the full backup of all of you and Charles.
Yeah.
Okay, see, now this is something I wanted to bring up. Okay. So I read this issue. I loved it. I don't know. Oh, this is really good. It took me 2 times to read it because it was long enough that I had to stop reading at a certain point and go do something. I just had to leave. I had things to do. But I was reading it and I was like, all right, cool. But I liked it, but I was kind of weird with it because it didn't really sit quite well with me. And then a day or 2 ago, I came across an article about the book that really illustrated what might be going on, and it changed my whole view of the book.
Does it have to do with that first page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys probably read it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole thing is that they might be fucking with us. Like the whole thing is because remember, you probably don't. Krakoa was a villain.
Right.
He wasn't a hero. And he was able to absorb. He lived off of mutant energy.
Right.
And he was able to absorb the genomes of any mutant he came in contact with and recreate them.
Right.
So the idea is that all this Krakoa stuff, all this stuff is actually not even the X-Men. That it's all Krakoa. This is him trying to establish mutant dominance, and that the X-Men are actually hidden somewhere, and that they're going to come in later. Because you have Xavier, who's always been about fitting in and living among the humans,
coexisting.
Exactly, that was where I was like, coexisting. But now all of a sudden he's just abandoned that, and he's following Magneto's ideas of isolationism.
Right, and he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and then you also have the thing where throughout every time you see Xavier, he's got the helmet on.
Yeah.
He never takes it off. Kind of, he's got something to hide.
He looked like Reed from the Ultimate to me.
The Maker.
Oh, the Maker. Yeah, he did. He reminded me of the Maker a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, with the black bodysuit and everything.
Yeah, with the
mannerisms.
Right.
But then it also refers to when they first see Wolverine, he's playing with kids.
He's happy.
And he's happy, exactly, which refers back to an astonishing X-Men thing where he was doing that and he was brainwashed.
Right.
So there's a whole kind of...
These are not the X-Men.
Yeah, there's a whole kind of secondary thing with this where this might not be what we're reading it to be.
Or maybe it's only some.
Some.
Because it seems like I like the idea of it's some because that means Scott is bought into it and unknowingly.
But one of the characters that came out of the goo at the beginning was Cyclops. And Cyclops has both of his eyes.
Which means a copy. Well, if there are copies.
If there are copies, he could be a copy. Like, I believe Magneto...
You're talking about you're talking about now, came out of you mean the first page.
Yeah, the first page where all those people were like the birthing, and it's going to be my X-Men. Yeah. And so, to me, I believe Magneto, the Cuckoos, all those characters probably are aligned with this, and this is their attempt to kind of bring, to take over.
And probably that's what Mystique was stealing, was some kind of information, because it wasn't a bank.
Right.
It was intel.
It was intel, okay.
Yeah.
Well, on the infographic panel, they were talking about the company that holds all that intel, and because Reed Richards had gone away for a long time, and Tony Stark died.
Damage control.
Damage control.
So it's all the tech that Tony Stark and Reed have left behind.
And one of the items in red was the sold animal, which is what I'm assuming Mystique was stealing.
Right. I don't know what that is. Funny. That's the one thing I'm not familiar with that item.
Well, I mean, if we even know about it, it could be something new made for this itself.
And they didn't want to fight the Fantastic Four.
No, they
wanted to get their stuff and go.
Yeah, they just wanted to bolt for the mission. They were all about the mission, not about fighting.
Right.
One thing I did think about, because I did read that same article, Justin, and growing on that, I was like, okay, maybe it could be Krakoa doing this, or maybe Krakoa has sided with the rest of mutant kind, and those birthing pods weren't necessarily birthing pods; they were maybe trying to heal the mutants, which is why you get Cyclops with his eyes back, and God knows what else.
So, to me, I like that more.
Yeah.
Like I get Justice thing of this cool conspiracy thing, and as interesting as that is, literally once that comes to light, I literally would tell you right now, I will stop reading. I'll be like, okay, cool, whatever, that's a cool mystery, I'm done. But I like the idea that Hickman came and completely changed the status quo. To Joe's point of Xavier would never side with Magneto's ideals. I don't think they're the same. I think this is the perfect middle, Joe, where it's maybe it's isolationism, but the difference is they're not going to it's not like Genosha or that fucking island where they literally left the world and just hid there or just stayed there. They are seeking global world ambassadors to be recognized as a state, as a city, as a nation, a part of the world. Right. For people to come. Well, no, they said flat out, humans are not allowed except with you.
Exactly. Right. So that's why if you have human family, you can bring your family with you.
That's why it's I think there's this is the middle ground where maybe Magneto and Xavier agreed on. Now, I hope I'm with Justin of maybe that is what's going on. but I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be that.
What if
it's too simple?
What if it's like it gets the ball rolling, like for a nation? Then you'll find out the sinister thing behind it, and the X-Men come and they take them all out, whatever like that. But the ball's already rolling for that nation, so once everything kind of calms down, they just continue on with the whole new nation.
Right,
like, it's just not sinister anymore.
It's one of those like I think of like Breaking Bad, where like a criminal act is just like it's just gone so out of control they just roll with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way, I'm sorry.
I'm okay with that because you know what? You know what? That's actually a cool political and like historical thing to go by. A nation birth based on a lie, on something evil. I'm like that. That's actually kind of cool now.
So you kind of have like Xavier come back, and then all of a sudden he's de facto in charge of all these mutants that he didn't put together to begin with, and now he's got to try to hold it all together. Otherwise, the world, because they've already established the world, the human world is already looking at them and trying to figure out how not to make this happen.
Right.
So he has to kind of keep it all together. Otherwise, it could be the re-extinction of this whole race.
Yeah, again, for like the fifth fucking time.
Yeah.
But I like how one ambassador even says, like, there could be military implications of how fast you could deploy military personnel through literally gateways that just go all across the world.
Yeah. And
no matter the size, because you could send millions to the habitats by the hundreds, and then they come out to their respective exits. And I'm like, that's strategically, that's fucking insane.
But the Magneto's counterpoint of mutants have never done a war on people. Right. We've never committed slavery or stolen land.
You guys have always started.
Exactly. Humans have always been offensive in the mutant
and everyone knows what he means by that, because again, bringing it back to Genosha, he knows that it was the humans that had attacked.
Exactly.
Yeah, but this is also Magneto, the one saying it, the one who's always been aggressive toward humans, rather, and who's always provoked
the humans.
I mean, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Astro M, all these things. He's always been like, he's always been the one that's like, look, we ain't going to use for it, or we're not going to attack. But if you shoot first, we're not going to start the war, but we're definitely going to finish it.
Yeah. Which, as a show of power, humans understand that.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying by having Magneto say that, you have the implications of a person who's always been aggressive toward humans. Say, we've never started a war. How many times has Magneto actually done shit?
I like this idea because we haven't seen Xavier in forever. This is the Xavier we get.
Right.
It's not him.
Well, the other idea, wasn't he supposed to be? It's him to be born into Phantom X's body.
Yeah, it's someone else's body. It's his mind in someone else's body.
Yeah, he's in Phantom.
But see, and that's been happening. Forever.
Forever, exactly.
Because it was Red Skull was in Xavier's body for the longest time.
Right.
I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah, during Brubaker's run, I believe it was during the Brubaker run of Captain America. Yes. Red Skull was in he had actually been resurrected inside Charles Xavier's body. So he had Charles Xavier's powers.
After he was assassinated by a Winter Soldier.
Right.
Which was the beginning of the Winter Soldier character, like, re-involvement.
So, wow.
Xavier has been in and out, but it's never him. It's always
something else going on.
For me, Wolverine. Xavier seemed the odd. Everybody else seemed okay. Xavier just seemed the oddest character in the whole book.
Yeah.
Magneto too.
Well, no, because Magneto was being Magneto, aggressive, pushy,
Messiah.
Shit out of that guy with the gun.
Yeah, he was being. Magneto was being Magneto. Xavier was the one that was acting like, is this something? To me, it was like some kind of weird mad scientist, like
Yeah,
he was chuckling under his breath or something.
The best way to describe it, he was acting like a cult leader.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Spaceships coming at midnight. Yeah.
But then, speaking of spaceships, we have that organization with their space station, which is the head of
a giant sentinel.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus, so much happened in this book. That's near the sun.
Yeah, because it's to absorb all the solar rays necessary.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so the humans, and it's for humans only.
And then that one had all the representatives of all the human organizations, and then had the one robot that didn't have it, that was what was it said, classified, Her
it was a Sentinel Omega.
Okay.
That's what it was called, like a Sentinel Omega.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
They're inside of a Sentinel.
A big
Master
spaceship.
Mold or something.
They have resources. They're going to be a problem.
Although Master Mold combined with somebody else, and that became Bastion.
Yes. But yeah, and they said that they took all the robots, and after the station was being done completed, they sent them down to Venus or Mercury to get heavy metals to continue building something else.
Dude, that alone could be its own comic with its own premise.
Yes.
It's fucking
It's
crazy.
because there was I completely forgot about that aspect of the book because there was so much going on. It was like there's two or actually more than two comics going on in one book.
Yeah.
Three or four? Yeah, easy. One book.
Yeah, no wonder like he did this to then have it, spin out those other books.
Yeah.
The ones that we just listed earlier.
Especially with all the infographics.
Yeah.
Detailing
he loves them, bro. He loves those strange symbols and saying the cast that's about to be written about and giving you infographics to explain shit. Because again, he constantly does it. He did that in Secret Wars in every issue. He does it constantly in East of West, just to orientate the reader where the fuck you're at any point, at any given moment of the book.
And I'm super okay with that because I swear, I think those, because they did create their own language because it's part of being a sovereign nation.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Magneto says it. He's like, we have our own language. It's gibberish to you guys. Mm-hmm. But in the infographics, he puts a lot of those symbols in there. I feel like there's hidden meanings in his infographics until we grasp the concept of those symbols.
Yeah, there was one point there was one infographic that said, like, it was like those symbols on the gateways that's supposed to tell you where it heads to.
Yeah.
Or where it's coming from. And someone snapshotted that whole thing and sent it to Jonathan Hickman's Twitter or whatever. And they're like, I could only theorize that some certain symbol within the symbols that repeated was an A. Because that's like a good rule of thumb in any translations of symbology or any languages.
Find the I or the
you find the vowel.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah.
God damn it, Joe.
I will say the one line that I did want to mention that didn't come from Magneto or Charles or anyone else. It was kind of like throwaway, and as we've noticed, George catches the throwaway lines. Was when Esme and Sophie were walking in with the ambassadors. They were introducing themselves, and she's like, "I'm Esme, and this is Sophie." And Sophie goes, "Actually, Sophie's my human name. I'm thinking about taking another," which is very symbolic of they really are splitting the race. And it's like, I mean, it kind of takes it back to the whole slave name thing that has come up every now and again, where it's like you want to change your name to be different from where you came from, where you were taken.
It's like what Justin and I said. It's like they really are drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh, 100%. I mean, but the Cuckoos and Magnetos have always been willing to go to the Kool-Aid real quick.
Boy, even Magneto says like, "Oh, the Krakoans," like as if already established, living there, and like that's the brand, like that's the label for people that live on Krakoa, Krakoans.
They essentially are. They're established. It's just they want to be recognized. Even if they're not recognized, Magneto don't care. This is his nation, which he has been wanting to build.
Yeah, I thought it was super interesting. Man.
And now with the backing of Charles Xavier or a Charles Xavier impersonator, looking like however we want to do this, that's a lot of power. With a cerebral helmet, and you see it take off electricity every now and again, showing that he's using it. I mean, something's going down.
I'm excited, man. And now I'm more excited for next week is Powers of 10, number 1. But what's the premise of that one, if we know?
That one's supposed to deal with the history of the X-Men, kind of rewriting the history of
Cleaning up.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Realigning the characters to put them where they need to be for this story.
We needed that forever.
And yeah, that is very true.
That
has needed to happen.
I honestly can't believe Hickman went through so much work to put this together because it's decades.
Because X-Men needs to be fixed.
I mean,
now you know why he disappeared for so long after Secret War. What were we asking? What did happen to him? Where did he go?
Yeah, and all he was doing was East of West, and he did one more book. I think. No, he did. He was only still doing East of West. What was the other Image book? I think it was the Black Monday Murderers. Black Monday Murders. He was still doing that. He was still doing that in East of West. but he was not doing any of the big Punisher stuff. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, essentially he was locked in a room reading a bunch of X-Men stuff, trying to get it all together. I do like how he did the Omega level, how he finally explained it, the differences.
Exactly.
It was super nice. How he's like, Forge, you can reach the upper levels of his powers. It's not him.
But
Magneto
it can be measured and it can be surpassed.
Exactly.
That's what I liked.
Magneto is like, even if we do measure it, I mean, this dude's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Essentially, is what he said. This guy's just off the scale. And then you have I think it's a very small list of Omegas.
Yeah, it should be. Like 2 handfuls, maybe.
I mean, my thing is, and Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, was Gambit not an Omega level mutant at one point? No. I could have sworn I read that somewhere.
No.
Yep.
I know Jean.
We do have Jean on there.
Jean.
Iceman.
Storm. Iceman's the one that surprised me. Because I didn't know he could go, super cold.
Yes.
Oh, he has perfect temperature control.
Right.
Of cold temperature and all this stuff. He can even, I think, vaporize too into mist. His powers evolved.
Cool.
He would grow like ice.
And you also have Gabriel and Hope Summers.
Hope makes sense.
Hope, yeah.
Vulcan makes sense too.
Vulcan, too.
Vulcan.
Energy manipulation.
Yeah. He's better at it than Havoc.
That's Cyclops, right?
Who?
Cyclops is not Omega.
No, Cyclops is not Omega.
He should not be Omega.
He doesn't even have control.
Yeah, he doesn't.
No, but He doesn't even have control.
If he, I think when he was one of Apocalypse's fanboys,
he has to be.
He wasn't listed.
He was not listed.
He should be.
Well, I mean,
maybe that's one of the things they're going to do is they're going to say that he's not.
Maybe he got the powers.
Powers.
Okay, you never know.
Powers of 10.
Even
negative 10.
Even when Cyclops was
writer
with I thought you were talking about during the Age of Apocalypse. He was one of the. He still had to have his ruby quartz. He just had one eye. That's all. He still couldn't control it.
Cyclops.
Havoc has better control because he can actually. He at first he couldn't because he needed the suit. That's why he had that really weird suit with.
Then he got over it.
Yeah, but then he finally was able to start controlling his abilities, and he can actually control. But the reason why Cyclops could never control it was because he had his head.
Yeah, he had a head injury.
Yeah,
right.
Which is crazy with all the mutant powers and everything that's out there. You couldn't fix one simple traumatic brain injury. That he's still alive.
They didn't understand how it connected to his mutant ability. They just knew that was the cause.
I don't know, all the money Xavier throws around for other stuff, and X-Jet, all this other things. He couldn't invest money into Cyclops so he can control it. I think that was very selfish of Charles.
For real, he comes up with 3 pills for humans.
Yeah, and nothing for for Scott.
Cerebral needs money too.
So people,
it's supposed to be a portable one.
let's be honest. He'll just get Forge or someone else to hack into the electric grid and pull power from it.
Okay, so I think we've beat this horse to death.
Yeah.
Moving on, I think the only other thing I really want to touch on this week, I personally, I don't know if you guys really want to go through all the books. Do you want to go through your books, Kevin?
What were they? I was really excited about House of X more.
Yeah, so because we've got Event Leviathan 2, we got Batman 75, we got Guardians of the Galaxy 7. None of the books I really like. To be honest with you, I read Surfer Black 2 a while back, so I can't even remember. House of X kind of displaced what went on in that book.
It's true.
So I will say, I read Guardians of the Galaxy 7 last night, and
the beginning of the Faithless arc.
Yeah, and I do love. If we touch on that just a little bit, I like the whole Church of the
Universal Church of Truth.
From the future.
From the future is to me. It gives me reminiscence of
Old Man Quill.
No, of Borg. Of the Borg in Star Trek.
Okay.
Where it's the future Borg coming back.
Yeah. But you have things in this book like Jason of Spartax, Quill's father,
being taken by the Universal Truth,
and then you ended it with finding out what's going on with Rocket. How he's all decrepit and he's all hooked up to monitors and shit.
He's like, all right, let's go save our friends.
Yeah, because everybody got taken over by the church except for Moondragon and Groot.
Wow. And all his little scabs. His little Grootlings, he calls them scabs. Little scabs. To me, it's funny. And I think they're hilarious because whenever he's doing something, they're just fucking it up. I find it so funny. And he never comments on it. So he'll be like, let's say, piloting. they're all there like pressing other buttons, like he'll just like unpress it, untwitch,
He's just so used to it by now.
Yeah, to me it's so funny how art, like that's like an example of like art doing like its own little thing, like its own little nuance.
The book is told from Moondragon's point of view, but you don't find that out until the end. She's basically retelling what happened to everybody. Right. But she's telling it to Rocket because that's where they went after everybody was taken over by the church.
And I like how it plays almost like a horror movie or horror story because it starts off with the Nova Corps telling them like, "Hey, come out your ships, de-weaponize, prepare to board or whatever," and then they just get wiped out, annihilated, and then
they get absorbed into the church.
Yeah, to me, like this like cool like hive mind thing, and like it's kind of been done or overdone, but I thought it was done to such a point that was vaguely different because especially in the end you find out that it's not a thing of mind control, it's that it removes your will to live. It feeds off your will.
That's what the engines of their ship, that's what it runs on, is their will to live.
Yeah, instead of the belief. But the thing I did want to mention, Batman 75 was just the start of City of Bane, which was, to me, really cool to see Gotham literally run by villains to the point of like people are like they've even lost hope. Like they get pulled by the cops, and it's like fucking like Hugo Strange. Hugo Strange is like commissioner to the point that he's like posing and parodying Commissioner Gordon, and it's really funny. Right, and then like the detectives on the case or whatever, like they go solve something, is Joker and Riddler. It's so funny. And then and then someone gets pulled over by like one of the cops, and it's like Victor Zsasz.
Oh god,
it's crazy. Like literally, the villains are running the city.
This sounds like a season of Gotham. That's what this sounds like.
But this is better. This is done way better.
But good, exactly. But slightly better.
But to the point that like they even have their own Batman, which is Thomas.
Right. Well, yeah, because he feels really.
Yeah. So this answers of what happened previously of the fight in the Lazarus Pit. Of who's the Batman that came out. It was not ambiguous, and apparently it was Thomas. So Bruce is at the bottom of a Lazarus Pit.
Which he used to bring back his mom, too.
No, but he buried her, thank God.
Right. But
it's an interesting place to be stuck at, the bottom of Lazarus Pit.
It's empty. It's not like he could get healed. And there's no rope, so I don't have to climb that shit.
Can you see The Dark Knight Rises? He'll be out in 5 minutes and walk home and walk home from the desert.
In Paris, a little restaurant in Paris.
Yeah.
God. I hope Tom King gives us like at least one more issue without Batman like coming in.
I mean, how many issues can you do of that?
I mean, he's ending it. This is his final thing. And it's running through 85. So 10 issues of City of Bane.
But then it ties in. Then it goes into Batman and Catwoman. I think a continuation of that story.
I think that's going to be like picking up the pieces, post City of Bane. Yeah, I think that's what it will be.
Yeah, but it's
but it's going to be what would have happened in Batman after 85. It just is happening in another comic because they decided to end his run short in that book, and they gave him another book to do it.
Man, I can't even think of who to write Batman after 85.
We might be dropping that book after he's gone, unless they get some kind of
I don't think they're gonna give it to Bendis.
You never know. I don't think so either, but
I don't know. He writes them interestingly, and then that's the other book I want to briefly talk about is Event Leviathan 2, where it's funny because like even the cover gives away of like Jason Todd is on it, but I like how the book portrays it where it's Batman talking to him one-on-one, and it's showing while it's doing that, it's showing Plastic Man is investigating a dead body of one of the Leviathan soldiers, and then he gets evidence from this body and comes face to face with Leviathan himself, and Leviathan knows everything about Plastic Man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, down to psychology. He goes, of course you would use jokes. And I can't remember any of the jokes because I read this last week or even earlier than that. But he's like, you could actually join me. And he's like, and I will leave here without you knowing. And like literally Plastic Man is in mid-joke. And he's just like, hey, where'd you go? And it's like, so it keeps leaving these hints of like something like very Batman-esque. So, and then they start tying all the evidence to what Batman and Jason Todd are talking about, and that's where Jason Todd comes to the conclusion. He goes, "Oh, I know what this is. I thought you were coming to me to help you investigate this, but you've already investigated. You've already got the body. You already got the evidence. You think it's me." And he goes, "Yes, I need you to come in." No, he goes, "Yes, we need you to come in." And he's like, "We?" And you see the whole Bat family on the rooftop talking there with Jason, just come up from behind Batman. And Jason's like, "Not a chance." And he leaves, and that's where like this like brawl happens and whatnot. And you start getting more and more pieces of very specific people are missing. Oliver Queen's missing, Lois Lane is investigating, and Batgirl's missing. So to me, like, it's ramping up this mystery that I'm like, yo, like, it's wrapping me more and more, like, wanting to get more involved. I'm really enjoying this mystery.
Man, I feel bad for Jason. He always gets blamed for things like this.
But it's cool because, like, the book, I swear to you, it literally does this thread of, like, it's almost that he's the perfect suspect. But the book then ends of, like, as an audience, not as a character would think. Because Batman probably thinks it's like, either he is Leviathan or a soldier. But as an audience, it's kind of one of those, like, are they going to pull the rug from under us? Because now this issue literally left, like, these breadcrumbs led directly to him. So it's like, if it's not him, then it was a plant. Even this issue would feel like a plant if it's not him. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want it to be that obvious that, the mystery solved in the second issue. I hope it is more than that in this DC event that's going on. And again, I liked it. I liked the way that it portrayed Batman as this mysterious figure. And that's why I wanted to end it on this note of, I don't mind Bendis writing Batman. He writes him like very high intellect. Again, he's the detective. So he writes it like he's always questioning others, deducing. He's always deducing. So I'm like, I really, really dug that. But I don't think they're going to give Bendis another big book.
I don't know. I think he's got enough on his plate right now.
It might be Tom Taylor. Tom Taylor, who's on Deceased.
Oh.
And I've been really digging Deceased.
Possible. Maybe. Okay. So, did you want to... Huh?
Did you have a book?
I talked about House of X. The only thing I can remember from Silver Surfer Black is I didn't pick up on this in the first issue. But apparently, the fight when he meets Null on that planet in the book is in the past. It's not actually in the present. That's why Null, like the symbiotes, react to Silver Surfer when they meet him. It's kind of a weird paradoxical thing where Surfer came across Null before, and it was like he knew him, but Surfer didn't. And this meeting is how that happened, because this is when Surfer meets Null for the second time, but this is when Null meets Surfer for the first time.
Timeline-wise, it's the first time.
Yeah. But I didn't pick up on that in the first issue, but apparently that's what's going on in the second. That's the only thing I can remember.
Yeah, the second is their first fight.
Yeah. And he gets pulled out, which you're thinking it's Galactus that's pulling him out.
Me too. I thought it was Galactus pulling him out. But I'm like, it's his Herald.
But it's not. It's actually Ego. Yeah. So.
And Ego looks trippy, like crazy 70s psychedelic rock album cover.
At a certain point, Ego becomes the Necroplanet. So
that'll be like a millennia even from now.
But remember, time is not a factor here. So maybe that's where he's got built
right. But I like how the black that was encasing his hand, Silver Surfer's hand, it's now taking up more and more of his arm.
He used more of his power. Yeah.
So it's like, and he's starting to look exactly what Justin theorized. He's starting to look more and more like the Fallen One.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want me to sell you Unnecessary Evil?
Do it.
Yeah, go ahead. I was actually excited for you to talk about that, Joe.
Remember, I was like, F this? No, I'm sold.
So again, this is what? Power Rangers 41.
Necessary Evil after Shabby.
Way after.
It's a time jump. It's a huge time jump.
Yeah.
So now the villain is Lord Zed.
Nice.
Zed sends Rito away. Tommy is now white. Tommy's back alive.
Present day Tommy.
Right. He's back. He's the White Ranger. Zordon's giving him shit because he can't lead the team. He's like, they're messing up. They're not beating their opponents. What's cool about it, though, I said F this because they're following, like, the TV show. They got rid of Zach, Trini, and Jason, and they replaced them with those idiots. I hate those idiots. Anyway, you come to find out
Rocky, Adam, and Aisha.
But they have the 3 regular Rangers become the... Come on, say it.
The Omega Rangers.
Your face just hates it.
No.
I
love Jason, Trini, and Zach being Omega Rangers.
Oh, okay.
They look cool. The designs look cool.
Because Zordon's saying, you're my Black Ops team. I separated you because you're the better Ranger.
The X-Force.
Exactly. The X-Force.
Why do all these teams need Black Ops teams? Like,
I don't know, but he's like, when I need shit done, I'm sending you guys. F Tommy and these other Rangers.
Fuck PG-13. We need a rated R team.
And they have a 4th member.
She's an alien.
Purple
she's
alien?
blue.
Or blue?
Yeah,
Blue.
Right, because they're not Earth level threat. The Omega Rangers are galactic threat. So whenever Zordon detects something happening else, well, I guess they go out.
That the Space Rangers don't take care of.
Right, that's
because
what I was like,
we
wait.
do have Space Rangers in this universe.
Yes, there
Or
is.
to take care of galactic level
I forgot
threats.
the dog's name. That's the leader of the police Rangers. But whatever,
Yeah,
his brother is now
Tyrese.
a bounty hunter who's chasing down the Omega Rangers.
So
And
now
this is fucking crazy.
I love Power
I love it.
Rangers.
I just fucking
I love
love
Power
it. It's so fun. And I'm like, this is shitty, but I like it.
They just do whatever they want.
So now we got Lobo out there, Honey Power Rangers.
It's a dog logo, sir.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Dog Lobo. Doggo.
Doggo.
Dog.
Did we really do that?
Jesus Christ. If you tell him to sit, would he sit? If you're gonna shoot, wait, no, what?
Depends on how well he was house trained.
Is Lobo a good boy?
They should be called the Omega Rangers. They should be called the Dog Whisperers.
The dog Whisperer.
But good so far.
Yeah, it's awesome. Read it.
So what is Power Rangers now doing? That it's doing like
They're
half the
following-
story of the Power Rangers and then half the story is the Omegas?
Correct.
Or will Omega spin off to his own
So
book?
wasn't it? No, they're gonna stay in Go-Go. But
Well, this is even Go-Go. This is not even the main line.
This is Mighty Morphin.
Mighty Morphin.
I believe Go-Go's ending.
Yeah, Go-Go's it's Mighty Morphin.
Right, yeah. I heard that Go-Go was ending.
Which
Yeah,
I'm okay with.
because it's finally catching up to the timeline.
When Mighty Morphin was starting.
We're starting, right.
But Lord Zed here is not like the cartoon, like the show. He's more fucking
Ruthless?
Cool.
Good. I always felt that's how Zed should be, but I mean, obviously it's shown in the 90s.
Zed's like, I'll handle the 5 Rangers. And you've got the Dog Hunter. You go handle the Omega Rangers. You go take care of them. I'll handle the 5 little kids. He called them little kids. I'll handle the kids.
I mean, Zed's been around for
right.
a long time, so everything to him is a kid.
Yes.
Even Rita's like, leave me alone, woman.
Oh, yeah, he said for us. She got it.
Have
That's good.
any other big bads come up, like Detox or anything like that?
No.
Nah.
So it was good, though.
It's good. I like it. Read it for free.
We do not condone it.
Unless your friend lends it to you.
I'll
Sharing
lend
is
you my
caring.
book. How about that?
Okay.
Good.
Virtual book.
Go read it. I'll email it to you.
The Dog Whisperer at Gmail.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop. I'm not even gonna say what I'm gonna say.
Save this.
Okay.
So sliding on from here.
Moving on. Let's move on to television. So we got
Okay.
some info we still need to cover from SDCC, but we also have more info too. We got DC Universe shows that are returning. You're getting Doom Patrol for a season 2. You're getting Titans for a season 2. And the Titans season 2 is going to feature Robin, Aqualad, Wonder Girl, Hawk and Dove, along with Superboy and Crypto. Crypto I thought was an interesting addition. And then I know that Esai Morales is playing Deathstroke for the villain of season 2. So that I'm actually excited for.
I have a question for Kingdom Come Superman.
We're not CW yet. Come on, man.
Oh, is that what this is?
No.
Did you not just pay attention to what he just said?
No, I said
No,
DC Universe.
DC.
DC Universe.
Yeah,
They're all the same.
so George and I are excited obviously for the Doom Patrol coming back. Especially with that fucking underwhelming ass cliffhanger.
I don't know if it was Again, it kind of was underwhelming.
Yeah, because it wasn't even a fight. The climax was not a fight.
Oh, yeah, that's Doom Patrol's thing. It's like, Here's your expectations, and we're gonna throw them away.
And by the way, we're gonna go get drunk off of these non-alcoholic drinks because they were just mixers.
Oh yeah, that's
that shit was funny.
The bad guy, yeah. Midori.
Yeah.
Just straight. I mean, it has like 0.1% of alcohol.
With Mr. Negative, right? Yeah, Mr. Is it Mr. Negative? No. Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Nobody just getting drunk off of drink mixers. It was so funny.
Ghost Hunter Mir has entered, and trust me, my man, you have to watch it to understand it. I will tell you this much: season finale, there was a rat and an ant, and they were doing things.
Amir, there's an episode where they get attacked by butts.
Oh, angry butts that eat things.
This is why he fell in love with the show.
That was 6 episodes in.
At that point, every negative thing.
Yeah.
These shows will be on the DC. Supposedly, from what they've said, these shows will be on the DC Universe app. Whether there's crossover between that app and the HBO Max app is still remains to be seen.
There's not a whole lot of people know or understand about the HBO Max app.
Yeah, we're still kind of in the dark.
It'd be kind of cool if it was a hub app where it's like, hey, look, you open up HBO Max, and then you have all these other apps inside of it that you can just go ahead and go to.
Oh, God, I hope not. No, treat it like a one massive library. Yeah, I don't want if it's a super mega app to have applets. Fuck that.
Yeah, let's just keep it all.
I mean, it would help more people see DC Universe stuff.
Maybe by categories.
Yeah, or just some method to have it in there, but have it separate. So that way, I mean, those who still have DC Universe.
And see if Warner Brothers still remembers they own DC. And they'll add it.
True.
If they remember.
I mean, they're still making the movies for it, so.
True.
What's that again?
Well, what do we think about the Titans lineup?
I've never been a fan of Crypto. I've always hated that character. But for some reason, I am excited that he's going to be in live action.
Really?
I am a Superman guy, and I hate Crypto. Really? I never understood. Okay, so on this planet, they have dogs that look exactly like dogs that are on Earth.
Well, because Earth is the master colony.
You're watching a show where everyone's wearing a cape. God damn it!
So wearing capes is awesome.
What's wrong? Hey, they did it in the Roman times.
Flying Crypto.
No, I just had a problem with a dog that had the same abilities as Superman.
Okay,
like you can't.
And super intelligent.
Like, I mean, what's to prevent this dog from using heat vision on? You know,
especially when he sees the mailman.
Yeah, exactly.
Doggy treats.
Boy, imagine how heavy his shits are.
They're like 10K shits. Just like boom.
What if he shoots his raised wall shit?
But I am interested to see how they portray this character as a live action character.
Okay, cool.
I am interested in them bringing Superboy into the show because I want to see what their version of Superboy is. If it's going to be the Connor Kent version of Superboy, which it looks like it's going to be.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be some kind of amalgam between Connor Kent and then Superboy? Because well, not Superboy Prime, the older Superboy. Because Connor Kent's Superboy was a clone,
right.
of Superman. It was a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor. And most of his abilities were from telekinesis. They were not from Superman, like
strength
from the sun.
Right.
So, but then they started towards the end of his character, before they killed the character off. They started trying to reintroduce Superman abilities into him.
Oh, yeah, he got so much sunlight, he was able to start coming out.
Well, because he got heat vision.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this character.
Can he get the leather jacket? Can he wear the leather jacket?
No, he's wearing the white. He's wearing the black shirt.
But I do believe the actor posted an Instagram picture with the leather jacket on.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And Deathstroke, one of my favorite characters.
Right.
I'm in. I still have to finish season 1, but I'm in.
You haven't finished season 1?
No, I never.
The ending hints at
100%. Yeah, they did Cadmus.
You see Cadmus, right?
No, I just never. I stopped watching at a certain point, and then I think I went on vacation and just never picked it back up.
Yeah, the I think it was like the end credit scene or whatever was Superboy breaking the door.
I remember distasteful opinions.
Of what?
Well, they liked Doom Patrol more.
Yeah, I like Doom Patrol more. No, Titans quickly devolved into something else, man. Where it got cheesy, it felt like
it did.
Like it was becoming a parody of its own thing.
So it's just that it was the first show they put out, and you could really tell they didn't know where they were going with it. And they reworked some episodes, they even said, and some of the writing was great sometimes, and then other times you're just like, who made this?
Right.
But I did like that they took chances with characters like they brought in Jason Todd
Yes.
And then I like that they did
Those were
Hawk and
amazing.
Dove.
Hawk and Dove. I did, and then also the idea of doing Wonder Girl, who not even DC Comics doesn't.
She
even
was
have it.
great.
But DC
Yeah.
Comics doesn't even have a handle on what she is. Her character's been retconned so many times. So
She was cool. I really liked that episode.
Yeah.
And then also remember, they're not talking about it here, but remember what's his name from Game of Thrones? He's going to be Batman, or at least Bruce Wayne.
There, dude, Ian Glenn.
Glenn, there you go.
Bron.
No, it's not Braun.
Is that Bron?
No,
Who is?
it's the dude who
Sir Friendzone, Jorah.
Oh, it's Jorah.
the Frozen Man.
Jorah, Bron, and
Batman.
Russell.
So we have Batman at 75 years old.
It's not 75.
With only Jason Todd under his wing.
You put some respect on him.
At least we know he's a man. How old does that man look?
Look.
Actually, he's
Ian Glenn is
he's just a heavy drinker, which you don't know is he's actually 25 years old.
and plus British.
and he's not Hispanic. Yeah, exactly.
He's 50. He's 58. 58, and then to be having a Nightwing that's already in his 20s, I'm okay with it.
Nah.
So we're in Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
That's what we're in.
How is that Batman Beyond?
Well, Batman. No, he was in his 80s.
Joe wants Batman to perpetually be 34.
Jesus.
Yes.
But how can Batman stay 34 but Dick Grayson age up to be Nightwing?
Right, like just keep aging.
But I love that Dick Grayson ages up to be Nightwing and then stops aging.
Right.
Yes, that's true.
And then Jason Todd ages up to be
Well,
Red
he's
Hood
got-
and then stops
He's
aging.
got the Batman complex. He stops aging once he gets to a certain age.
Oh,
Once he
God.
hits adulthood, stops aging. And then Tim Drake is perpetually Tim Drake. I swear that guy is still a teenager.
Or are they gonna put him in the suit?
I don't know. Well, the suit, Batman wasn't he, at least
No.
from the back, wasn't he?
No,
Yeah, he had
plain clothes. No, in the suit.
remember, but that was
Because
the crazy drug-induced illusion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a real mall. We just kind of gave it away.
He was gonna find the ID eventually.
Sorry,
Well,
guys.
and by this point, it's kind of on me, not you.
True.
So-
Actually, it's on the audience.
It's true because the DC universe now is like 4 shows in, and in Titans was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last year.
Titans, Young Justice, Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol.
Yeah, 4.
and they still have
Harley Quinn coming out.
Isn't Young Justice a cartoon?
Yeah,
but it counts because it
That's the
was
only good
brought
show.
back.
Yeah, it's a new season of Young Justice.
but they still have that.
No,
star.
they actually did it better. They went from Young Justice that you saw and they made it better. Yeah.
Good show.
They,
Yeah.
It's definitely good.
Remember, they also got that Stargirl show coming too.
I'm not interested.
I might be interested.
If it connects to the Starman mythos, I'm interested.
I know nothing about
I think it will.
You're right. I was gonna ask the same question. What is Stargirl?
Stargirl was Jeff Johns' tribute to his sister. Jeff Johns' sister was on one of the flights. I can't remember the flight number. It blew up and crashed. Just leaving New York. It wasn't during September 11th. I think it was before that. But she was on it and she died.
Oh.
And ever since then, he's tried to he created the character of Stargirl, where she started as Star Spangled Girl, and then she was the niece or daughter of Jack Knight, who was Starman. Right. And she inherited his star staff, and she became Stargirl, which is the next iteration of Starman.
Okay, so for me, it's something with.
Yeah, you wouldn't know about that.
But
Even for me, I'm not familiar with that character
the thing,
at all.
the thing about the character that like the big standout about the character for me, aside from her being related to Starman, because James Robinson, I haven't read it. It's like on my list of wants to read. James Robinson did a run on Starman, which is supposed to be epic. It's supposed to be like one of the best runs ever.
The Starman, that's the one from the Justice Society of America?
Yeah.
From like,
But not the same one.
oh.
Because that one, I think they were brothers. I think it was Ted Knight and then Jack. I think the history's.
I believe they touch on Star Spangled on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
Doesn't she also see the Smallville, right?
Yeah,
She was
Smallville.
Yeah, she was. Yes.
She gets stuck sort of every now and again.
The thing that stands out to me about the character is because the character of Stargirl was created by Jeff Johns, and he created it as a tribute to his sister. His sister's name was Courtney.
Nice.
The character's name was Courtney. Something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But like I said, and she has the Star Staff in the pictures for the show, so I'm hoping it connects to the Starman history. So I'll at least give it a look. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but
Okay.
Moving on, we got some trailers to discuss. First one up, the Netflix series The Witcher.
It looked good.
I'm in. I don't know anything about the game. I don't, but I'm sold based off of Capital.
Well, good thing you and I, Justin, are in the same boat and not know anything about the game because supposedly this iteration is based on the books.
Right.
Oh, good.
The games do take heavy influence from the books, but there's going to be little things different here and there.
I like Henry Cavill. I think
he looks good.
I love the jawline. So
Yeah. Again, I said it before. I know of the game series. I've never personally played it. I know everyone loved the game because it did really well compared to the book. Mm-hmm. And I saw the trailer too, and I'm actually in. I don't even like medieval.
I'm not like Kevin.
Medieval or fantasy.
Kevin's not. You don't like fantasy,
right? I'm not a fan of magic.
I do, so that's a plus for me. So that doesn't immediately go, well, I got to get around that. So I'm in because of that. And, I wanted to play the game. It's just never made it onto my radar.
I guess what I liked the most about the trailer is that it seemed like the magicness of it is like really subtle. I don't know. God, for all I know, maybe this trailer was done because all the magic post-production, effects are not done. That's why it's showcasing no magic. So I'm going to go in.
The first 20 minutes.
Right. I'm going to go in expecting, not that much CGI magic, and then the whole show is about that. I don't know. Based off this trailer, it looked cool and dark.
The first 20 minutes of the first episode is them conjuring something.
It actually might be, to be honest.
Right.
110 might be honest.
Okay, I'll tell you as much as like there's summoning and
Yeah.
stuff, but it's not really heavy magic focus.
Only his combat uses magic, and a lot of it is self-augmentation.
Yeah, but that's him. You see, like, all these other girls in the trailer, and they are, like, witches and have powers.
He's got black eyes at one point.
The black, that's something else.
I don't want to spoil anything.
All right, no, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still going to give it a shot, because something I do want to say, especially here on the podcast to you guys, I think fucking Netflix, I don't know where they're getting this money from. That trailer looked like this show is going to be fucking expensive, man.
Yeah.
That shit looked like Game of Thrones level, and I don't mean Game of Thrones, season 1 through 3. Like, this is like Game of Thrones money, like season 5, 6, and 7.
I can tell you where they get the money from. They get it from their bottom line. They just posted their first loss ever.
Wow.
They're in a lot of debt.
Yeah, they've spent a lot.
They're in a lot. They're in as much debt as students are in the USA.
And they're about to lose a bunch of their subscribers to Disney Plus, too. I think that's why they're spending all this money. They're trying to hang on to people.
Well, original content was what their goal was in the beginning.
Right.
If the show gets any of the love that the game series got, it's gonna save.
Yeah, that game series is
Right.
like a cult following.
But a lot of originals are going to save Netflix. And then they throw money at it like this with good, talented people. People are going to come to watch it.
Well, I agree that good series and original series is going to save Netflix, but another thing that's going to save it is if they drop they're going to have to drop their price. They keep increasing it hand over fist almost every quarter.
Yeah, I'm now paying $14 to $15 for the 4K.
Right.
And if Disney's going to come out with a $6.99 price tag with all the content that they're going to have, plus new series,
plus the vault.
That's what I mean.
Cracking that vault open.
I'm convinced that's why the HBO Max is not Warner Bros. Has not confirmed the price for HBO Max.
Well, yeah, they're waiting to see what happens.
They're waiting to see what Disney does a month after launch.
They're doing great.
Everyone's convinced that
the price will
go up.
Oh yeah, 100% it will.
Well, no, what they'll do is they'll give you that $6.99 price tag a month, but they'll tell you after 12 months it's going to go up to the regular price.
I didn't even think that long.
I
think literally afterwards, like right after, because it starts November.
No, if they do it within before 6 months, they're going to get a huge backlash off of that.
Well, you can, let's say for the first 6 months, you can buy the whole year.
Not everyone's an early adopter. So they're gonna,
everyone's gonna be.
You know what you're getting with.
But it's not even that. It's just like you know how people are. If they think they're tricked, if they think they're being tricked, they convince themselves they're being tricked. So if you give them a $6.99 price tag, but you don't tell them until a month later you're going to up it up to another price, people are going to be like, no, fuck this, I don't care. They're going to it doesn't matter. They're just going to you're going to have loss no matter what.
I mean, it's Disney.
People love it, especially in this day and age. People love to do things just based off of spite.
Yeah.
Disney podcast, I heard that if you onboard the day one, you're grandfathered in. anyone after that, it will go up.
That's what I meant.
Okay, I see.
That's, that's a huge rumor. They said.
Also, okay, so you have to be a day one adopter
Right.
to get that price,
Right.
And then now I understand what you're saying.
Right, because okay, think of it that way.
I don't buy that either.
It's no longer. It's based on what the product is. The product is right now old catalog stuff that we all know and love, and we want to see.
They're trying to build that first month. They're trying to get as much subscription as they can, and then after that month, they're like, well, then now it's $15.99 a month. Right,
because after the first, let's say, couple of months, now they have new original content pumping weekly and monthly. And seasonally, because people are going to be like, fuck, I need to jump on Mandalorian. I need to jump on Loki. I need to see Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because it's only going to be there.
Let's say on the inverse. You get a truckload of people that jump in on that introductory month for the grandfather, and they don't get a lot of following at the original price after, they're going to truck up.
Right.
And we're not getting all the Marvel movies day one either.
No, the Mandalorian, yes.
Mandalorian, yes.
Well, no, yeah,
they have a lot of contracts
with Netflix and stuff.
But you get the entire Marvel catalog of day one.
Oh yeah,
you get the entire Star Wars catalog. Well, wait, Star Wars I wasn't sure.
Because Fox. Yeah, you do.
No, not everything.
Episode 8 you don't get, and Solo you don't get because it's still Netflix. Everything else they said you don't get.
There you go, and then you get the entire Disney catalog, which
of course
there are things in that Disney catalog and Pixar. There are things in that catalog that people haven't seen in years. Right. They're going to go just for that.
There are things I don't remember.
Yeah. Plus the entire Disney Channel, and there's a huge '90s following on Disney Channel.
ABC stuff too. That they used to throw on Sunday nights. They said they throw that on there.
Wow.
The
catalog is huge.
Yeah.
I would love to see a comparison of what their opening catalog is going to be compared to some streaming services that are current on like Hulu or Netflix, and just be like, wow, just a comparison of how many shows
is going to be a part of that too. So.
I think
Hulu's still his own thing.
The only one that could even combat that would be maybe HBO Max, because that's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's a big catalog too.
True.
So, next thing, I'm going to go out of order here. The next thing I want to touch on is the Watchmen trailer for HBO.
The Damien Lindelof sequel?
Pseudo-sequel? Because it's kind of him doing something new, but, it's like...
I think the only confirmed original Watchmen member is Ozymandias.
Yeah, which is Jeremy Irons.
Yeah. Because no one else can do that, because that's awesome.
Well,
yeah.
But you did see, in the trailer, the owl ship.
You did see
and it was being flown by Don Johnson. So, Don Johnson has a connection to Owlman? Is Don Johnson Owlman?
Night Owl.
I'm sorry, you're right. Night Owl.
Owlman's someone else.
I'm thinking of Crime Syndicate.
Yeah, you're correct. DC's correct.
Yes. Is he a Night Owl? Maybe.
I like the gang of Rorschachs.
Yeah.
So we get more context of what this show might be about in this trailer.
Apparently,
the Rorschachs might be like antagonistic.
Well,
and attack cops.
It seems like they're anti-establishment.
Because
I believe they attack cops, and that forces the cops to adopt masks, so they don't know where they live, so they can't be attacked.
That explains the yellow covering.
Which is what I was saying when we first saw it. I was like, something happened, and they had to start wearing masks. But I do like the line, and I forgot who said it. It was at a funeral scene, and they're like, "What's the difference between a vigilante and a cop with a mask?" Like, I don't know. I was like, I don't see a difference.
It was how do you tell the difference?
How do you tell the difference?
How do you between a vigilante and a cop with a mask?
And then it cuts to Regina King being a vigilante.
Which is like, what? It looks... I'm going to watch it because it's Watchmen. I do like Watchmen. And HBO looks they're going to do a good job.
Right, and it looks, again, quality looks great. The production looks awesome.
It looks good. I got to say I'm interested because I do like the people who are in it. I like the Jeremy Irons in it. I actually do like the Don Johnson.
Lindelof is great at giving us awesome premises.
That's the problem, though.
Right.
He gives you amazing premises. He just never follows through. Or he gives you a MacGuffin and you go, that's a fucking great storyline. It's like, but it's a MacGuffin. You're never going to find out why. So that's kind of my problem with the series. But in the trailer, it kind of looked like Dr. Manhattan was going to show up. Maybe
wearing pants.
I don't think so. I don't
either. But I think that's what that was meant to be.
Maybe it's a different faction, another gang, and they just go blued out.
I'm going to be watching the show to see how much it ties in with the original Watchmen. But at the point where it deviates enough to where I'm going, okay, what am I doing here? Is what
I'm going in with the opposite. I'm going in that it's not going to tie in, but it's the same world.
That's what I mean. I'm saying I want to know how close they're going to refer to the original comic. Are we going to get a lot of references? Are we going to get a little?
We'll see.
And the point to where I'm like, I'm starting to question what I'm watching is, I'm out. So, next up is, we got a trailer for Arrow final season. I didn't see it. Did you see it?
It was actually really emotional.
Was it?
Because I have
last season of Arrow.
powered through that fucking series to the point that it's been like a bad relationship. Up and down, not caring, break up, get back together, talk shit. There's been some cheating going on, and we got back together. It's been a roller coaster of a ride. But that final fucking trailer shows that entire ride, and just like the musical score behind showing all these like pivotal moments in Oliver Queen's life leading up to this final season, and then you get like I think like three or four like shots of like Black Canary, him, Spartan, and just like, okay, this is what it's been all about, this and that. So it's gonna end with this final 8th season of just 10 episodes, and supposedly it will be mostly just Infinite Crisis, the latest DC CW show event, crossover event. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting much from this trailer. I thought it was just gonna be a teaser. Which essentially that's what it was. But I have to admit, like it was really fucking emotional, man, to see all this shit because it's been fucking 8 times 22 fucking episodes long of all this shit of Oliver Queen. So I dug it, and I will go back and see the final 10 episodes.
I won't lie, I had hopped off the CW shows, and I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. This relationship, I'm over with it. Yeah. But then it was like, oh, we're going to do Infinite Crisis. So I was like, here we go.
Crisis on
Infinite Earths. And, was it Infinite Crisis? Because I think they might have changed the name.
No, it's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
So, I mean, I'm down for it. I love that storyline.
You're going to bring in, with Crisis on Infinite Earths, you're bringing in a multiverse of different characters. Supposedly, even the EU is going to be referenced.
Everything's gonna get swole.
That's weird.
So we got Burt Ward coming back
from Batman 66.
Yep. You've got supposedly Linda Carter coming back to play Wonder Woman, even though she was the president on Supergirl.
One of the CW shows I dropped.
Yeah. Well, those are other worlds.
Did I hear right? It's the Robin from Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
from Adam West
from the Batman 66.
Oh, come on! Don't give us that face.
Wait. That Robin? I thought it was Batman and Robin.
Yes, man. Pay attention to your own podcast. He literally just said Batman 66.
Batman 66.
I don't think Joe's here.
Adam West Batman.
I said Batman and Robin.
Well, it was Batman and Robin.
No, it was Batman 66.
It was Batman 66?
Yeah. So you have that. We've got Brandon Routh putting the Superman suit back on, but the Kingdom Come Superman.
Kingdom Come one. To me, it's cool because he has got an older sense that Brian. Oh my God,
Brandon Routh.
No, the director Brian Singer. The sense that Brian Singer Superman returns.
Yeah. But then you also have. It's confirmed that Tom Welling is coming back.
That's crazy.
But we don't know is he playing Clark Kent or is he going to play another character. So the rumor is that he's going to play his character from Smallville.
I mean, he had said in the past that it would be cool to cross over.
So this is supposed to kind of realign everything.
I think it'd be cool if he plays like a version of Superman that is, instead of Kal-El, it's Jor-El that survived or something like that. Kind of like in the same vein how like Wesley Henry, the original 90s Flash actor, how he plays Flash's dad in this series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then he also plays...
he plays Jake Garrick on Earth. Yeah.
Yo, I'm about seeing Dean Cain because he plays Kara's father on Supergirl.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
And Helen Slater's his mother, and you could bring Helen Slater in.
Oh, dude. Yeah. You could... Damn, this could be pretty crazy.
And apparently the guy who's been playing the Monitor on Arrow is actually going to play the Anti-Monitor as well.
That's kind of funny.
But I mean, they were created at the same time. Yada yada yada. Their whole story.
Yeah, but the anti-monitor looks so different from the monitor. I'm curious to see the makeup on it.
Make it look like Apocalypse.
We got
looking about
another show that's going to tie in with Crisis is we got the Flash season 6, season 5.
No,
Six.
I gotta say I did watch the show because I did finish Flash. Once I finished last season of Flash, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Flash is the best CW/DC show.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. Spoilers if you haven't seen Flash, I'm sorry. I was a little disappointed that what's her name doesn't exist anymore. Nora. Yeah. But you could still bring her back for Crisis.
Yeah. Hell yeah, of course.
I'm a little underwhelmed by the villain they chose for this season, but we'll see. At least it's not another speed.
Yeah, because they're saying that it's gonna be Bloodwork, Professor Bloodwork, and it's like, really?
Just let me know when you guys don't talk about Flash spoilers, so I can take my fingers out of my ear.
Oh, sorry.
It was just weird because the last season was.
I did, but I hopped back on for the Crisis event.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So I'm rushing through Flash right now.
I got you. Okay, so
not that bad, but you were even George already knows that Red Death has been hinted at in season 5, I believe it was. So it's like, why are we starting with this trailer for season 6 and it's Bloodwork?
No, but you told me that it wasn't Kevin. This is so everyone who's listening that can't see me pointing.
Yeah.
You the podcast.
That Red Death was mentioned at the Flash Museum.
Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that he's
But the fact that everybody latched onto it because they teased it.
Yeah, but I can.
And they set it in order of villains' appearances throughout the seasons.
But there was in season 3 or 4 when Barry was facing Savitar himself, and he mentions future villains, and then they go through it.
Yeah.
So Red Death, I mean, just because it's coming up doesn't mean it has to be in an order or anything.
Well,
it's just here, Red Death. We're gonna do that eventually.
Well, the idea is that you had Savitar mention Thinker.
Yeah,
and then Thinker was the next film.
And
so the idea is that every season kind of mentions the villain for the next season.
But didn't they also mention? Didn't Savitar also mention? Did he mention Godspeed?
No, Savitar didn't mention Godspeed.
He mentions Cicada.
Yes.
Because I remember he did that. What was the Thinker's real name?
Alan
DeVoe. Because they had that whole scene where he's like, "Oh, this is where we came up with the memory harness for DeVoe." Yeah. So it kind of led into the next season.
But I felt like he was talking about a bunch of things, and he's like, "Oh, we haven't got you haven't gotten there yet."
Granted, this is all just fan speculation. This is not because they heard Red Death and they're like, "Oh my god!" and they grabbed onto it.
Yeah.
Well, everyone was like freaking out because that's a fairly
super recent
one-off character that was just created.
It was like last year. Or the year before?
No. The year
Dark Knight Metal.
I want to say the year before.
And you have to have a connection to Batman to get it.
Yeah, which is crazy because I did pre-order a Red Death pop. Should be coming in today or tomorrow. I mean, not today or tomorrow. This month or next month.
Yeah, Justin and I are just underwhelmed with this announcement trailer of Flash season 6 that the villain might be Bloodwork or is Bloodwork because like he's not that interesting. He's just a professor goes crazy, starts killing people.
I'm hoping it's kind of like this
season.
season, this last season. Well, sorry.
No.
I'm hoping it's this last season where it was the one that leads into another. Because the villain of this last season ended up being somebody else. So
yeah, George is not there.
I know, that's what I'm trying to keep it vague.
I appreciate the vagueness.
Moving on, we have His Dark Materials. Looks like HBO's setting this one up to be the next big show. I'm excited for it. I thought the trailer was really good. Yeah. I was a fan of the original movie, which was The Golden Compass.
Joe was not.
Which led to me seeing that movie led to me wanting to know more about that world because it's actually a trilogy. It's actually a series of books. That deal with the multiverse. Right. So, but I also did like the aspects of the movie or the characters, like the fact that all their souls are on the outside and they're called demons. And they're all representative, and when they all, at a certain age, they all become, they stabilize. Because before you get to, like, age 13, the demons they can change shape. They can be whatever they want to be. But once you hit puberty, they stabilize and they become an aspect of your personality. That's why
There are animals all over the place.
James McAvoy's character is like a snow leopard or something. So, but it's supposed to reflect his personality.
And then Bethany Keene's character is a ferret.
Yeah, and then you have the villain's character is a golden monkey.
Yeah.
So and you see
it's very sinister.
Another dude is like a hawk or an eagle.
You see a lot of animals.
But the one that's my favorite was the fucking polar bear.
Well, yeah,
but he's not a demon.
Right. The polar bear's not a demon?
No. Polar bear's a character. Do you want me to spoil it?
No, I didn't know that. No, what you're about to say is completely new to me. I didn't know that.
Well, if you saw the movie, it's not spoiled.
I never saw Golden Compass.
So like
it looked too magical, so I skipped it.
Yeah, it's very enchantment.
But that's why. Okay. So my thoughts on the trailer. It looks really gritty and grounded. So like super like hyper realism. So then whenever there's like these animals that supposedly mysticism or some kind of
familiar
form of magic, it seems like pseudoscience to me because you keep seeing like it's chambers and electricity and like weird other shit experimentation going on. So I'm like, oh, I'm about this, and like vastly different locations of like London, Europe, Antarctic. So I'm like, once again, HBO just fucking throwing money on this.
This show takes place on an alternate Earth.
Cool.
So.
Well, clearly, yeah. Freaking our souls outside, and it's an animal.
But it's still like London.
You have Zeppelins, but you still have some technology and stuff like that.
Yeah. To me, that was cool.
And what they're doing. I mean, if you like I said, you didn't see the movie. I saw the movie. If you know what they're doing, like the experimentation, what they're trying to achieve, it's very sciencey.
Cool. So. See that alone.
It's mysticism grounded in pseudoscience.
Cool.
Sorta. A little bit. Yeah. I mean, that's why I think Kevin will like this one, because there's less fantasy aspect to it.
The polar bear probably thrown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like polar bears, and he come out looking.
He ain't coming out with a Coke, okay?
No.
Came out fully armored.
He came out armored. That's what caught my eye. I was like, a fucking polar bear armored? That's OP as shit.
Okay, the one thing I'm going to spoil for you is, here's the thing. I haven't been able to find a name yet, but in the movie, the polar bears speak.
Yeah.
What?
They can talk.
Yeah, he talks.
And in the movie, it was Ian McKellen who did his voice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was great.
I haven't seen a name associated with.
I think he's gonna talk. Just hold it.
Thorn. What was his name?
You have to.
Something Thorson. Something Thorson.
Yeah.
Like Boris Thorson or something like that. Some kind of weird name like that. But yeah, he's supposed to talk. But you just don't have a voice for
him.
those
who can't see, Kevin's face
just dropped. Wait, what?
I don't think he's happy about this.
You're basically a talking.
It's
right.
almost,
that's why I like
it's almost as if we told him the girl he spent last night with had a dick.
It's like Stu from The Hangover 3.
Wait, that's weird to spend the night with her and still not find it.
Yeah, really, right? I mean, that's why it was so weird.
Stu didn't realize it in The Hangover. Well, no, was it Stu or was it?
Well, he blacked out anyways. That's why.
You don't realize. Black out, don't realize.
Blacking out finding a dick? That's crazy.
I admit to nothing.
That's wilder than the Golden Compass.
So that's about all we're going to spoil for Kevin, because he doesn't know what's happening. The last thing we're going to touch on is the thing I wanted to touch on, which is the thing I was most excited for until we got for SDC, until we got the Marvel panel. But this was the thing that won the weekend for me. Star Trek Picard. We got the Star Trek Picard trailer. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Just like I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Yes, you can't have both in the same.
Especially Next Generation.
Yeah.
Blasphemous.
It says the guy who's not even a fan of Star Wars.
Or Star Trek.
or Star Trek.
He's not a fan of any of the stars.
What, they're in space? Fuck that.
No, he's like, live action. I'll go back to anime.
Yeah, there you go.
Amen.
So, we got the Star Trek Picard trailer revealing tons of information.
Missed opportunity. I just want to say this. Missed opportunity to not have called it House of Picard. I still really have one.
But okay.
So in this trailer, we have Picard, who's retired from Starfleet. He's trying to live a life on his family's vineyard now that his brother and his brother's family are dead. But being called back to the stars. and then girl introduces herself, and the girl becomes the centerpiece of what's going to bring him back to space. You know what I would say? We got Vulcans, we got Romulans, we got Borg.
You got Data?
The Borg lost my mind.
I was leading to that.
Sorry. So the Thunder.
Yeah, I was leading to that. Because that's where the trailer ended, and that's where it had me, was when you saw Data at the end. Because Data was my favorite character, so it's just to bring him back. Was it not? I mean, you could have just told me Data's coming back and not even shown him. I was like, I'm in. I don't care what the show's about. I'm fucking watching it.
I mean, you said that when I just said the card. You know, I'm in too.
That's true.
But what I like is like it's him, essentially saving this girl, taking her under his wing, and
but she's got a connection to the Borg as well,
right?
Because
which is why
you have a scene in this trailer where it looks like some sort of jail, where it's actually all these scaffolding and everything, and there's actually a sign that says this facility has been without assimilation for like 4,000 days or something like that, and there are Borg alcoves in the same place, but it looks like sort of like a facility, like a jailing facility. But the idea is that it's not. It's actually they've got a cube, and they're converting old drone back to humans.
Oh, kind of like they did with 7 of 9.
Yeah.
Which
is why she's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Still sexy. I don't get it.
Yeah, dude. It's been like 20 years.
She really is a robot.
What I thought was interesting, if you could really tell based off this trailer where people's loyalties lie, because all the Star Trek Next Generation fans were like, holy shit, it's fucking Data. And then all the Voyager fans were like, oh my god, 7 of 9. And it really didn't cross back, because I could care less than 7 of 9 in the show.
I was a Voyager fan.
Okay, right, because it was airing when I got into Star Trek.
I had to go back.
I had to go back for Next Generation.
Of all the Star Trek series, I think it's the weakest. Even with Enterprise.
Even Deep Space Nine.
Oh, Deep Space Nine's the best. You shut the fuck up.
I'm going to say, a lot of Trekkers fucking say Deep Space Nine is like the Holy Bible.
If you want to talk about Star Trek...
the one after that. The one after that is the one that...
Voyager.
No, Voyager's after Deep Space Nine. They ran concurrent almost, actually.
Sort of.
Yeah, it was like Deep Space Nine was 3 seasons.
So you had Next Generation, you had Deep Space Nine, you had Voyager. They all ran... Because Deep Space Nine crossed over with Next Generation.
Yeah.
And then Voyager crossed over with Deep... Because they each shipped everybody off. So Picard,
wasn't the
Enterprise docked with Deep Space Nine in the first episode of Deep Space Nine, and then so did Voyager docked with Deep Space Nine before it was sent off.
Yeah, so, and then Voyager got sent out by some accidents and time.
Well, it was pulled to the other side of the universe,
the
Delta Quadrant. And then you had Enterprise after that,
which I liked Enterprise.
I liked Enterprise. It was great, but I still would rather watch that than Voyager.
I didn't like Enterprise. That's the one I meant to talk.
Yeah,
I meant to say.
But it was just interesting because you talk to some people who are like, wasn't it great that 7 of 9 was in it? And I was like, yeah, but wasn't it great that Data was in it? Nah, 7 of 9. I'm like, I don't care.
I was happy with both.
And I was also happy.
Both, Justin.
No, it's not possible.
I was also happy because I was really worried that it was gonna have that like stationary cam-looking look to it, like Star Trek
it looks very different.
Dude, not only different, it looks kinetic and it looks cinematic as hell.
And it's going to be different for Picard's character because all episodes of Deep Space or Next Generation, except for like a handful of crossover or two-parters, were episodic.
Yeah,
this whole season is going to be
serialized. That's what I thought. I'm like, if you show this to an audience like without context and when it's a series, they're gonna think, cool, it's a Picard movie.
Yeah,
because like that premise of the girl showing up and doing some kind of mission for it does not sound like it's gonna take long.
One thing I didn't notice when I was watching the trailer, like you said, it looks very different, shot differently. I don't know what it is about it. It just feels so different. Everything, the way it's shot.
Yeah, it looks cinematic.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's. But I've seen the Star Trek movies, which are cinematic, but they don't look like this either.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was trying to pinpoint it down to a particular show to compare it to, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
Oh,
it looks like a movie. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Because like it's a lot of these tight shots and then like wide angles that pan to show like the landscape and stuff. So it's like it's not very TV-esque.
Yeah, no, right.
We've already got confirmations that Jonathan Frakes is returning to play Riker, and because he's married to Troy, in the series, Shield's coming back as well.
Riker.
It's only a matter of time before you hear about like LaForge coming back and some other Dr. Crusher, all these. So you're gonna get everybody.
You have space for so many cameos.
Yeah.
Especially in a serialized show, you can bring just a cameo an episode or two.
But they've already said that they're not going to throw cameos in just to throw them in.
Yeah, it's going to be with a purpose.
Yeah, but you can have a purpose, and you can have a lot of cameos.
The one I'm waiting for is Q. I'm waiting to see if they bring
Q,
Q back.
was that the multi-dimensional being?
No, the omnipotent one.
The
That started the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, moving into movies tonight. We had some Terminator news from SDCC. Edward Furlong returning as John Connor.
Amir's favorite. It's the kid from T2.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wait.
Have you seen him, how he looks now?
Yeah, how's that going to work?
No one knows. No one knows if he's even coming back as John Connor.
Oh, I thought that's what he was. Why would they bring him back?
Because he's not even credited as that. It's
really?
It's super weird.
He's not credited as anything, is he?
No, it's just Edward Furlong returning. That's it.
He better be a homeless dude on the street.
No.
He looks it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
With all the Terminators and everything, I feel like we have alternate timelines of plenty at this point. Why can't we have multiple John Connors?
Well, fuck that.
I think that's what this is about. The theory is that that's why Sarah Connor is still fighting, because it keeps getting postponed. It keeps changing.
Yeah.
So the person keeps changing. That's what she keeps looking for. The person that always leads back to or interconnects with John Connor. That's the theory, like on Reddit that I've read and stuff.
Man, I'll be honest. If I was Sarah, I would have given up. Screw it. I'm done.
Like, yeah, should
I've
be
been doing this job for too long. Someone else figure it out.
Especially at this age. You're going to die. Just accept it. Look at what your son's going through.
Or, each iteration of your
Dude,
son.
Edward Furlong looks horrible.
I mean, he probably signed on and his contract's like, you gotta get good.
Edward Furlong looks like the John Connor that would have given up already.
He's a John Connor that gave up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't really have much to say on this. I'm going to see the movie. I do like the trailer. I do like what they're doing with it. I don't.
Joe, do you care? All right, cool.
I don't really
at least it's another Terminator that's finally rated R.
I think they said that the Schwarzenegger Terminator in this movie's got a name. Carl.
He has a fucking cabin. Like, he has a mortgage and shit. That's how long this shit's been going on.
A mortgage?
I love
you know what I do want to know, Joe? Does he pay utilities?
I mean,
he doesn't need water.
Maybe he built his own tool.
It looked like she interrupted him baking a pie or some shit.
I love how you extrapolate this whole world based off of one shot. You have no idea. He could have been opening the door after killing everybody in that cabin. And you're like, no, he's baking a pie back there.
Yeah, he's baking a pie.
Joe is just pushing off his current existential crisis of having to pay mortgage.
Yeah.
On that. That's exactly what he's doing.
He's like, if I'm paying mortgage, so was the robot.
Right.
So is Carl.
If I ain't getting no free cabin, he's definitely not getting free cabin. Fuck that guy.
I just hope it's Carl okay.
Can he pick up his own cable?
She knocked at the door. He was booking a vacation.
Velocity.
I got 2 rooms at Disneyland. What the fuck you want?
Can he be his own router?
He's like, yo, Star Wars has
I just hope if anything he's tired of his shit. He says, no, I've saved the world once.
I love it. Imagine that.
No,
he answers, it's Sarah Connor, and he just says no.
No.
Oh, that'd be great. That's how much personality he's gained.
Right?
No, close the door.
He said, I did my mission.
He's saving that specific one, I believe, right? Because it's the same one that's carried over from T2.
No,
and
T2 one was
No,
melted.
they're just made to look the same.
Right.
No, but I could have sworn this one had a connection to one of the other Terminators.
This one has white hair.
There's so many
Yeah,
Terminators.
it's T2 one. It's the TA100 from T2.
Yeah,
It's
but
the
it's
same
not
model.
the
It's not the same one.
It's got the same
Yes,
one.
it should be. Oh,
No,
sorry, he
fucking
dies.
melted.
He dies. Holy
Melted.
shit. So who is
What
this?
is wrong with you?
But there's another
vacations of Travelocity.
there's another Terminator with an Arnold in it afterwards, isn't there?
There's
No.
probably going to be. There's Terminator 3.
I mean, but every single one he's
I don't
probably
think I watched that one.
Yeah, that can't be canon because
No.
Sarah Connor's alive.
Yeah, because
I get it.
Sarah Connor. This is supposed to be like a spiritual sequel to this
To
T2.
2.
There's probably going to be a beginning shot of this where it's like a whole storyline of a missed,
explanation.
yeah, like
Ah.
like a missed assassination, and then it just kind of leads to like who fucking knows?
Yeah,
God
we
damn
need
it.
Neil deGrasse Tyson to just start and be like, listen, folks.
No, we need John Hickman to rewrite this.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my god!
He'll give us infographics.
Yes, I need infographics.
Jesus Christ.
I don't need when I see a movie. I don't need to be reading shit. That's why I don't see foreign films.
You could hate.
I don't read as it is.
You could hate T3 Rise of the Machines all you want, but it gave us one of the funniest fucking lines of Arnold raising his hand and saying, "Talk to the hand."
Is that your favorite on the soundboard?
Oh, does he do that to her when he opens the door?
That's what I'm hoping. I really hope so.
That'd be a hell of a callback.
Join me next week when I start my own podcast. With famous people.
Hell yeah.
Justin sits on Rogue Nation.
Oh god!
That could be a side adventure. Justin and a microphone.
Just don't go back to the
Why is
crap
everything games with you guys? Side quests.
Hey, listen. First of all, fuck you.
What do you call
Second
what do you
of
call a side
okay, look.
adventure?
I'll watch this
Games are
movie.
great.
I hope it's good.
I
really
look,
hope it's good.
I'm gonna watch it.
I don't have. I have zero hope for this.
No, I do. I have like
You have 5 hopes?
I'm
5%.
I'm going into this movie just hoping it's not a fucking disaster
The last
because
one.
I've been let down by 3 other Terminator movies.
Right.
What was the one with Christian
me,
Bale?
after 2,
Salvation.
Yeah,
There have been it's terrible. They
I did not hate.
After 2,
there
I
have
hated
been-
every turn.
there have been more bad Terminator movies than good Terminator movies.
Correct. I agree.
Wow, that's there, and they keep being made.
It's a great premise.
Yeah.
Just nobody knows what to do with it but
Listen.
fucking James Cameron.
Listen, all farmers milk the cow till they fucking can't.
Tell him to stop.
I mean, that's why we still get more Transformer movies, right?
Okay, so beyond that, so we've up until this point, AMC has been one of the few movie theater chains that has had a subscription plan for seeing movies for a monthly fee. 3 of us have been a part of this for a while now.
AMC A-list.
And I've been enjoying, even though I don't really get to use it as much as I probably should.
Right.
I enjoy it, but now Regal has stepped into the game.
Okay.
Regal is offering a subscription plan. It starts at $18 a month, but it only includes certain theaters.
That makes no point.
Yeah. If you want to include some of the higher theaters, like there's a theater by my house, the Oakwood.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not part of that. No, I can't even say that. I'm assuming it's theaters that haven't upgraded to
More expensive.
stadium seating yet, or not even. I'm sorry, reserve seating, because there's 3 tiers.
There's still barbaric movie theaters.
There are.
Jesus.
There's 3 tiers. There's an $18 tier, which includes only a handful of theaters, not very many. Then there's a $21 tier, which is the same price as we're paying at AMC,
Pretty much, yeah.
which includes some of the more popular theaters. And then there's a 3rd tier, which I think is 23.
Maybe, yeah.
I didn't see the.
I just know the basic one, the one that equates to our AMC A-list one, still does not include premium experiences like 3D, IMAX, Dolby. All of that is a surcharge. You see, so you pay your monthly subscription and still have to pay the difference of the ticket.
I don't get that. If someone's doing a subscription system so well on top of that, why not keep it competitive to that?
I don't get it either.
That's too easy, sir. Okay?
The AMC A-list, as long as you go see 2 movies a month, or you catch one IMAX movie, which is like $17-20,
Yeah.
it pays for itself.
Yeah.
So you
Hell,
got-
go see Dolby on a premiere night, and that's the fucking price of the monthly fee.
And the free upgrade for popcorns, the unlimited refills,
That
which
pays
are
itself.
unnecessary. Who gets refill on a popcorn? Those
And
big
you
ass
skip the
buckets.
line with the yellow.
No, I've never. Emir's pointing at me. I was like, I've wanted it. I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I feel
Well,
special. Walk into the yellow.
yeah. There was a special A-list line. Nah, I also remember that one time where I split my bucket of popcorn with Kevin and his fiance Val, and halfway through the movie, I'm pretty much done eating popcorn. I've only had a few handfuls, and Kevin's like, "Can I please have some more?" I guess having the whole bucket. By the end of the movie, the rest of the bucket.
My English accent is not that good.
Did I do it good?
Yeah.
I just let it slide.
So I was told about the subscription plan about a day or 2 ago. I just found out about it, so I was looking it up. Based off of what I've seen, I'm sticking with AMC.
Yeah, it's
It's
garbage.
a better
It's
plan.
garbage.
Yeah.
Even if it's cool that they're giving us the tiers, so you have the choices that best fit your own needs
None of
and
the
movie going
choices are good.
experiences. But they're awful. Yeah, they're all awful.
And none of the theaters I would go to are on that lower tier.
Right.
It's like, hey, do you want to watch a Transformers movie? But we're only giving you the last 3 Michael Bay ones.
Yeah.
You're pretty much screwed.
Now, to be fair, AMC does
Damn, with a Tooch is Merlin?
That's the fourth one.
Fifth.
Now, to be fair, AMC does have 2 tiers with their subscription service.
I did not know that.
They do.
There's a $21 one and there's a $23 one. The $23 gives you unlimited, so you can go to any theater across the country.
Oh,
The $21 one kind of, I haven't experimented to see if you can go outside the theater you pick.
Yes, you can.
You can.
I've done it. It's within your own state.
It's within your own state. Okay.
Which some states are big.
Oh, so that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
Because I was about to say, I'm like, yo, I've gone as far as Miami, and then as close to the one here by my house.
I knew there was a restriction. I just didn't know what it was. So, like, if I go on vacation to DC, I can't get a free ticket at DC.
Okay.
So, but that's really the only limitation. Whereas this one, if at $18, you basically got to go find hobo theaters.
For real. Savage ones that still don't even give you reserved seating.
We have one in Hialeah.
With bedbugs.
Yeah.
With bed bugs. Fucking joke.
So it's an interesting attempt.
Competition?
Not really. I don't think so. I think AMC theaters. I think AMC theaters are better anyway.
None of the tiers give you discount on food like AMC does.
No, they do. They actually do.
Oh,
Good. They give you some discounts on little things.
Good. Thank
They
God.
give you. Let's see. You get 10% off of food and non-alcoholic drinks. There are no blackout dates. You get a free large popcorn and soft drink on your birthday, and then you get.
I still get that. That's the regular fan club
Exactly.
membership thing.
Yeah, the regular stubs on AMC, it's like $12 a year.
Plus, they also give you. Plus, with AMC, they also give you like perks that pop up every now and again. Like right now, until next month, if you go, they have a coupon where you can get small popcorn and an icy for $5.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
you're exposed to the $5 or $10.
Everything that you buy, even if it's towards the AMC list, hell, even the drinks at the bar on AMC through the A list, those points accumulate faster than regular stubs, so you get those $5 more, and you could stack them and then roll over.
Yep.
So I think at one point I had like $20 off of anything that I could have even used towards a ticket.
No, yeah, me too. I've literally gone in there for a movie, and I overdid it.
So you spent like your next month's rent.
Exactly, yeah. I did a hot dog, I did popcorn, I did soda, and I did candy. Which, that right there is like, what, $30, $40?
It's $300. I don't know.
Justin, it's transactions like George's that make me reconsider the questioning of AMC has to be losing money. But when I hear that, I'm like, nope, they're jipping us.
But like the coupon's stacked on it, I only paid like $12.
But considering how every time I go to the AMC theater by the house, they have a brand new menu every time I go.
Yeah.
Like at one time they had a chicken and waffle sandwich.
Yeah.
Which I gotta admit I tried was actually really good. Even if you didn't eat it as a sandwich, like what I ate the chicken separate, then I just ate the waffles.
Oh, so good.
It was still worth the money to me. But then I was like, oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna get that again. I go, it's off the menu, and now they're like, it's like all about different types of hot dogs.
You know what?
I love their hot dogs.
You know what my fiance and I have actually done? We've gone to the theater specifically. Of course, we go to actually watch a movie, but we go specifically just to see what the new drink is at the bar.
Oh,
and then she makes them here.
Yeah, let's not get into that. I have no idea what that says about me.
I did like the gimmick they were running for a while. I haven't seen them do it for a while, but where they were offering like a special glass with for a certain movie because they had.
Now they do the buckets.
Okay.
The buckets correspond. Yeah,
well, I'm talking about at the bar.
No, you're right, but yeah, they stopped doing that fast
because they did. Because I had bought the Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Skull vodka, and then they actually did a companion shot glass. Crystal Head Skull shot glass that was supposed to go with the bottle. There's a bottle shaped like a skull. They did that for a while. We tried to get them, but they were sold out by the time.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so. What I do also like is that the AMC by us, the one in the mall, is just so new that everything in there is super fresh. Yeah, because you can go to another. I've gone to what was the AMC that we went to?
We've been to Miami,
but we also went to another one a little further down,
Weston,
and it was. Not as good.
Okay. Well, there's one I go to.
It's as nice, but crap.
There's one I go to in Weston that's smaller.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the one.
We were sitting down next to everyone, and I had no leg room. I was just squished.
Yeah.
And then
for somebody like me, when they put the controls for the seat on the side as opposed to on top, and my hips just act so like randomly during the movie, shit, and the thing goes down or goes up.
That's funny.
I was pissed. I had to empty my pockets.
Yeah.
pushing buttons.
That's funny as hell.
I do have that too because I'll lean to the side
Yeah.
and my pocket will just be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Like, come on.
So,
Not big guy friendly.
but I love the theater that by us here at the mall
Mhm.
is the only theater I go to.
Perfect.
And so I love that theater. I only have my one complaint is it's just too small. It needs more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it has 9
it needs
screens.
more. Yeah, it needs way more auditoriums.
And it has like it's 9 screens, but one is IMAX, one is Dolby, one is this, one is that, and then only like 5.
It's like
of them are
so
regular.
when you go to see a movie that you didn't get to see last week, there's a good chance that it ain't going to be there next week.
Where the timings are a lot less.
Especially summer
Yeah.
blockbuster
And
season.
get the cameras up to drink that.
So you can pour more drink.
So you can pour a little heavy, get that heavy
You
hand.
can buy off the Sears section. And just, there you go.
That's
Nobody-
true.
nobody
Expand.
buys
Well,
shit at
Sears is having a closeout sale. I want to
Yeah.
go buy and get some.
So there you go.
There you
Buy
go.
that out. Expand
Buy
the
it
theater.
out, right, there you go.
That's how little we care about the Regal plan. We're talking about our A list.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's better. It's
So
just better.
go and get AMC A-list if there's an AMC by you.
Okay, so lastly
I just
tonight,
like the built-in bar, and I'm not even on it.
lastly tonight, before we close out, we got a couple of trailers that we wanted to talk about. First one up is Top Gun Maverick, sequel to Top Gun.
The 80s classic.
Yes,
Which you
It
haven't
should've
seen,
stayed.
Kevin.
Which, yeah,
Which
I've
it
actually
should
never
have
seen.
stayed.
Oh, you haven't seen any of the Joe?
Joe, too? Damn.
Wow.
I mean,
It's
Amir either? I've seen it. Oh, you seen
Okay.
it?
It's kind of sad. Really,
sorry.
No, that's that you haven't
No.
seen it.
Oh.
I'm saying the trailer is kind of sad.
Whoa, really? Why?
It's just,
Dude,
I'm
I haven't
such
seen it. I
I'm
had no
such
way.
a fan of the original Top Gun, and then it's like, why do a sequel to such a good movie?
And do it like 20,
To a
30
movie-
years?
To a movie that doesn't even need a sequel, number
If
one.
you've seen the original, it doesn't even
He looks like a year older than.
And that's the
Yeah.
other thing, too, is like you see the movie, and you're like,
Does Tom Cruise age?
yeah, but at the same time, I mean, he doesn't look like he's aged, but at the same time, you could see like the weight of the world behind him. So it does look like he's aged
Yeah,
in
there's-
spirit.
I thought the trailer was fucking incredible. I was not expecting that going into that fucking trailer.
But you never saw the original.
Right.
So you don't have context for almost anything in that trailer.
I kind of got out like he was this hotshot pilot, and for some reason, he's only moved up the rank to captain, and even in this movie, they question him of like, you should be admiral or fucking retired at this point. Why are you still captain?
He was lieutenant in Top Gun.
Yes, I definitely.
But you don't know about Goose. You don't know about...
It's cool. For a second, I was going to ask him, like, is it a remake? Is Bruce back? Like,
No, it's not a remake. It's a sequel. Legit
But
sequel.
he is in the trailer.
what?
Yeah. Anthony Edwards, it's a scene to him playing the piano in Top Gun, but it is in the trailer.
And
No.
you briefly see Miles Teller as the son, as I want to say Tom Cruise's character's
Well, his
son.
character's real name is Pete Mitchell. Which you never... If you watch the movie, I think they said the name maybe once or twice.
Right.
He's Maverick through the whole movie. That's what they call him.
Which is Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
Tom
that's
Cruise
his
is
call
Maverick.
sign. That's his call sign.
Right, so Maverick's son is Miles Teller.
Well, Kevin, if you do want to watch the original,
You need... If
Yeah,
you're gonna
of
watch-
course.
You need
I-
to watch
Yeah,
it.
that's happening.
I am willing to watch it with you. It's been quite some decades since I've watched it.
And
That movie's
I'm
still-
perfectly fine with rewatching classics. Like, I think with Mission Impossible Fallout, I did a marathon of Mission Impossibles with my fiance who had not seen 1 or 2. And watching 1, I was like, oh my god, I've never seen the first Mission Impossible. And I didn't know that. I literally thought I had seen it. And like literally watching it, I was like, I've never seen this movie.
And then when he got to the third one, he's like, oh my god, it didn't get good until the third Mission Impossible.
Yes. It's true.
His fiance said the same thing.
Yeah, even Val, she tells me, she goes, why the fuck didn't we just start with the third one?
I mean, that's kind of like the Has Fallen movies, like Olympus Has Fallen, Olympus Has
God.
Fallen. Some people have watched those out of order, and they're like, "Oh, there was a XYZ woman." I'm like,
How much out of order? There's only 2 that you could watch, and the third one's coming out now.
"Yo, but people are slow." There's 2 people still watch them out of order.
One of London Has Fallen is terrible. I actually do like Olympus Has Fallen.
I remember liking it too when I
Yeah.
saw it.
But I didn't know Lyndon Has Fallen has made enough money to go ahead and get it.
I don't think. I
No.
think it's just the love of the what's his name's character. I think that's what,
Gerard Butler's character?
yeah,
Maybe
because he was really in Olympus Has Fallen. He was pretty badass.
100%.
And the second movie, they kind of So I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do with this.
I guess you're just trying to get like another Jason Bourne character movie.
My personal prediction for this movie, it's going to come and go. It's going to be in the theater and it's just going to be on. The next trailer up is Gemini Man, which I know Joe's on the same boat as me. I have zero. I don't really care.
Bro, Joe has been so unenthusiastic with everything we've talked about today. I mean, what else is new?
He liked House of X.
Yeah. And Power Rangers.
but it's exactly
funny.
So it's exactly that thing of like even what Emir jokingly says is like that's what an elitist is, where he doesn't like any other medium other than his medium. It's like only my comics. Okay, of all the TVs and movies we've talked about, with all the trailers we talked about today, what stood out for you? What did you even bother liking?
Because I don't like anything DC.
Throw out Death Court.
I mean, you say you don't like DC, but then you have like Star Trek, The Witcher, Terminator. Those weren't DC.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That like Joe didn't like any of that.
He said he was in for his Dark Materials. He didn't say much, but he did say he was in for it.
I am in.
Good, because as soon as you see a white polar bear of armor, you're like, fuck you.
Wait till he starts talking.
Yeah, when he's talking, that's where I check out.
Poor Kevin.
I have no qualms with Star Trek. I just never watched it.
He's a target polar bear himself.
That's why.
I can't wait.
He's a grizzly.
Well, here's my prediction. What's gonna happen? He's gonna watch the first episode because they don't get to that character until like well, they didn't get to it until like halfway through the movie, so I'm assuming like halfway through the season.
4 or 5, right?
Yeah. So he's gonna watch the first couple episodes. Like, dude, I'm thinking the show is great, and then we're gonna come by one day after that episode where he gets introduced.
Fuck this show.
I don't know what I hate that show. I don't know what the fuck happened.
It'll be hilarious that for like half the episode he doesn't even speak because things are just going on, and then like the next episode he speaks, and then he's like, "The intro was great, but he started talking this episode,
and I had no idea what to do."
So Gemini Man, Will Smith's, Ang Lee's featuring Will Smith in Gemini Man, and Will Smith in his 20s.
Which is very easy for him to do, just a shave.
Right, he's another Tom.
No, it's literally CGI.
They're doing CGI.
They're doing the Tron thing.
Yeah, he's even put it on his Instagram where like how they.
Yeah, he has the dots and stuff. So it is CGI.
So what we're seeing here is that Ang Lee saw a bunch of Marvel movies and said, "I want to play with that technology."
No, I actually I heard the interview thing. I think was a Collider video that brought it up. I guess Joe, and someone brought up that in an interview where the technical consultant or whoever it was on Ang Lee's Gemini Man is that it's not Will Smith de-age. He is literally the animators are literally putting his young Will Smith face on top. It is not like the Michael Douglas de-aging technology. It's not the same thing because since Will Smith has been actually acting for so long since his 20s, there's literal footage that they can use and just place on top of his old now 50-year-old face.
Which is why you have that little video snippet in the beginning of him being young,
that was
looking
so
straight out of Fresh Prince. But that it's called a deep fake. It's deep fake technology.
Did they hire Thomas Elliott?
What? Who?
Anyway.
Wow. Joe just went deep.
Hush.
Yeah, I got that, but I was just like, why?
Because that's what he does. He wore other people's faces.
Why not hire that who did Face Off?
Fine, whatever.
That was
a great movie.
Yeah, but that was
Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
No,
those are the actors.
No, he's talking about
the guy.
I forget John Woo.
Of course it was.
Wait, that was a Woo movie?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, those fucking doves.
There were doves. You're right. It's sad that you can tell it's a
That's
John
true
movie
too.
when there's doves.
A very important scene too.
Yeah.
He loves doing that.
Yeah.
Even in Mission Impossible.
I didn't even know that. Now that you mentioned that, and I love that movie.
Every John Woo movie does a.
Yeah.
There was a dove in the sewers in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense.
Which is impossible.
Enclosed sewer. Dove goes flying.
No, it wasn't a sewer, but it was an underground bunker. Which makes no sense.
What's the next one?
I love that we didn't even talk about Gemini Man.
Because nobody cares.
It looks interesting.
I care. I like sci-fi. I'm always going to give sci-fi a chance.
I'm going to watch it. I'm
It's
just
action
tired of
packed.
these
Right.
double movies and shit.
How many have there been?
Well, I'm thinking about even childhood, fucking, you have everything Jean-Claude Van Damme made had a fucking double of him do some kind of shit.
You mean Double Impact for one movie, two people a little bit?
No, Double Impact.
No.
He has 3 other films where it's a double of him.
The same story 3 times.
Yeah. I learned this
Amir went through it,
when I was going through the cinema. What is it?
Cinematography.
IMDb.
It's filmography.
Yeah.
Filmography. God damn it.
Filmographies.
He said cinema, and I remember brain
My bad.
blanks.
Filmographies. I was realizing this as I was looking for these films for my dad, and I'm like, holy shit, how many movies did he do? And he had a fucking double of himself.
Oh wow,
A double, a twin, a clone. It's just, and it's
I used to remember the double impact with the long lost brother, twin brother.
yeah. He really liked the storyline.
I don't know. It's just the fact that it's Ang Lee kind of turns me off.
I think that's what gives me hope.
Well, I know that you're gonna side with that one. I don't. Ang Lee just doesn't. He doesn't do it for me.
As a layman who doesn't even know fucking directors or anything, so I'd say I have 45% interest.
Oh, is this a new tomato scale?
The Ghost Hunter scale.
The Ghost Hunter scale. Like,
Three ghosts out of 5.
I like that.
Wait,
I can
ghosts
share-
are a Snapchat thing. We don't want to get infringed here. Be careful.
So last movie of the night before we close up this carnival, whatever.
Shit show.
Yeah, shit show's better.
I think that's another trailer Joe didn't like.
It was shittier shows.
No, I did like this one.
The Zombieland
Oh, hell yeah.
double
I'll
tap.
like it, double tap.
There you go. Throwing Kevin a curveball. Joe likes this one.
I'm glad because that fucking trailer is bonkers.
First movie's awesome.
I've never seen it.
You never saw the first Zombieland?
You ever saw Zombieland?
You break my heart
Zombieland's good.
for watching that.
To me, it's one of those zombie movies that actually stick out because it's
It's
a
not
comedy
like it's
first.
not really like other zombie movies. It really does kind of.
yeah,
The zombies in the
break the
background.
and I
Literally.
like how it stops to like teach you a lesson in like surviving a zombie apocalypse.
Well, yeah, the rules.
Yeah, I think
73
it's so
rules.
funny.
Double tap wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's rule number 2.
Yeah,
you see them twice.
What's funny is that it showcases in this trailer for Zombieland Double Tap that like that humanity like never came back.
No.
Like it's
just
there's
like
zombies
Walking Dead.
still like zombies are still a thing.
Right.
They're still on the run.
I mean, like
I
the
saw
most
the trailer,
famous
you know,
zombie show ever.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead. They've been going on for years, for decades almost.
Yeah,
And
but
this
they,
show's
they,
on.
No, not
they
decades. I think
it
it's
feels like
maybe reached.
they've
the
been
decade.
attempting to rebuild society. This Zombieland thing is just like, no, it's these 4 people who like been moving from house to house.
Right.
Well, that's those 4 people, but it felt like they ran into a group of people.
Yeah, but that was like a community. It doesn't seem like they're trying to rebuild civilization.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
To me, it
We'll
looked
see.
bonkers. It looked crazy, and I can't fucking.
I like that they got everybody back to do it.
Me too.
Yeah, and it looks like Woody Harrelson's just going to be.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Jesse Eisenberg to come back
I mean,
because
What else did he do?
Because I felt like that it felt like that was a role that he would have walked away from already.
Yeah, he did. He became Lex Luthor. It worked out for
that's what I
him.
was gonna say. I'm like, how many roles do any of those actors really have anymore?
Emma Stone.
Emma
is
Stone
huge.
has, yeah.
Well, what else does she do?
She can do whatever she
What?
wants.
Yeah, she can do whatever the fuck she
All I
wants.
remember her from the Scarlet fucking thing and the Spider-Man bullshit.
I have no idea what any of that means.
Easy A and Spider-Man.
There you go,
Amazing Spider-Man.
Jesus.
There you go.
I speak. For some reason,
me.
I speak Amir. I don't know.
I live with the man. I didn't understand that. That just felt like, ooh, cookie crumble.
I'll be
What?
honest, I did not get that at
Because
all.
there was a segment where she was like, it's like, I have a fucking Scarlet letter.
Yeah, because the whole.
How do you remember that and not the name of the damn movie?
I have selective memory.
Clearly.
Select to remember the title.
Listen, I remember what's entertaining, what's important.
Control Alt Delete.
See?
Alt F4.
Woody Harrelson steals the trailer just like he
Oh,
stole the first
yeah.
He
movie.
always did. Yeah. He's awesome.
That the ditzy girl they pick up in the trailer looks absolutely funny. I hope they have some more of her in there.
Wait, hold up though. So what else has Emma Stone done recently?
Crazy Stupid Love.
Recently.
She was in
La La
what was the
Land?
Damon Chazelle movie?
Well, that was huge.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's the
the-
Damon Chazelle movie. La La
Yeah,
Land.
that's the musical shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in Battle of the Sexes, which was her playing Billie Jean King.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Actually, didn't see that
It's just
one.
movies you don't care to watch, but she's rich and famous. She doesn't have to do anything at this
No,
point.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying, I see all 4 actors in this, and all 4 of them, I'm like, I haven't seen a single film of any of you.
No, she's not.
I mean, the funniest one I find is just Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, because this seems like a role he stepped away from.
Yeah, but it seems like he had to step back.
Oh, what else does he do? I just
He
remember
did Lex
from
Luthor,
Facebook.
and
And Lex
He's
Luthor.
done
didn't
the
work.
Social Network, which is
Right.
the Facebook work, which he was great.
Yeah,
in.
I thought it was a
Right,
great movie.
right. I'm not gonna say that. Okay, Facebook. He did Lex Luthor. What else?
I think
Recently,
the Double. It was
Now
in
You
the
See Me
double.
movies.
Oh, Now You See Me.
Those are good. I like those.
No, they're not. I
I
cannot believe you're
I thought-
diverging on
Wow.
Now You See Me.
wait.
I thought that was whack. I thought it was whack.
That was
Then
awful.
you did not understand.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to understand.
You like it too?
I liked it.
I like right.
Okay,
See, Thank
Joe
you.
likes it.
I
Joe
like
likes it. It has to be good.
Hey, there's better things
Joe doesn't
than
like
put
anything.
together.
Dude, I
I'm
thought
sorry.
the first one was awful.
I'm sorry.
What?
I could not stand it.
You hate it?
Didn't get it.
I was bored as fuck.
I'm with Kevin on this one. I watched it. I liked it all the way up until the end. And then the end
You
just
know,
kinda-
me too.
I'm
okay with it.
And when they basically said that magic was real, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I kind of was like, nah, never mind.
And then it came back with a sequel. I was like, what?
yeah. The sequel was not so good. I
Well,
It would have been. I think it would have been a better movie if they had gone through the whole movie using magic to do all those crazy things, and then at the end of the movie explained how they did all those crazy things. But no, their explanation at the end of the movie of how they did crazy. No, magic's real.
I did feel like that was a little bit of a cop out. They should have done the whole, I wouldn't be Theater Blade, but it would be like, who would be the one who always revealed the magic tricks?
Because there was a movie.
Chris Angel.
No, that's
No.
Mind Freak. He doesn't reveal anything.
I thought he did. I thought he
No.
would do the trick and then show it.
No.
No, that was someone else who do behind, and he had to wear a mask because magicians hated that he was
Yes,
showing.
you're right.
that
You're
was-
right.
it was
Yes.
breaking the magician's code.
Yeah, and I like magic. So that would have been cool to have. Like
I
you said,
clearly
there-
don't.
There was a movie that actually did that. It was called The Illusionist. It had Edward Norton.
Edward
in it.
Norton.
the Prestige,
The Prestige was different though.
but he did the same thing.
Prestige was better. Illusionist was actual
Prestige-
magic.
Prestige-
That was just a twist at the end. That wasn't like explained.
Well,
Yeah,
the
they
thing
explained
about the
everything.
Prestige was it was going in that direction, and then it took a wild left turn
It went dark.
with the whole machine that could duplicate you. Like, okay,
The cloning machine.
Whatever.
Created by David Bowie.
well,
So-
Nikola Tesla. But I was still So like you're watching the whole movie and you're going, okay, it's all practical, and then they invent a machine that is not even that doesn't exist, and go, oh, not only does this exist in this world, but it also exists 150 years before now. Like,
Yeah.
no,
And they ask you
sorry.
the existential question, are you the man who gets teleported, or are you the man who falls into the water?
Yeah,
And I'm like, wow, this thing went there.
but
I love
The
Illusionist.
Illusionist, which is not a great movie, but if you watch the movie, all the crazy tricks that he does in the movie, at the end of the movie, you get his diary, and the woman going through the diary sees how all the tricks were done. It shows the pages and how he did every trick.
Which came first, Illusion or Prestige?
Well, they're kind of subtle.
Oh, it was one of those things that, hey, look, it's the year we're going to release magic movies.
Yeah, it was the same year.
Yeah.
It was the same year, but if I remember correctly, Prestige came out first. Because I saw both movies in theaters.
Well, the Prestige has the prestige of being directed by.
Yeah.
Well, and then it also has the acting power. I mean, Edward Norton's great, but then you also have, in the Prestige, Christian Bale and, was it Hugh? No.
Hugh Jackman.
It was Hugh Jackman, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one had a lot of power behind it.
Well, Mark Kane was in it. There's a lot of people in the movie.
Mark O'Crane.
Not bad.
I just love the way people make fun of it. It's true. Like the past 20 years, he sounded the same. So that's it. Are we done?
Yeah.
with this fucking episode.
Yeah, this episode's
gone over
kinda-
2 hours.
Yeah.
Again?
Again.
Damn. All right.
Roll that already, goddammit.
Someone wants to end the show.
Follow us on Rogue Nation Pod on Instagram. We're everywhere on all podcast platforms.
Just search Rogue Nation Pod. Podcast Pod.
There you go. And we'll see y'all next week.
Later.
Later.